Hey, welcome everybody to another Saturday afternoon Great Maker Chat live stream. I had to look to see what I called it. Anyway, we're live on YouTube today and we're live on Twitch, and I hope we have a great stream. I stream each and every Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific. I live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we have a few makers in the back room, and there'll be many more people hopefully dropping in. I can do up to 10 people at a time on chat. And on YouTube, I finally set up a join button. I did that last night, and I'll kind of see how that works out and what I can add to it going forward. And over on Twitch, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to stream on Twitch. I've got 584 followers, but I've only got 2 subs on Twitch. And anyway, I don't know what I'll do. So anyway, hope everybody has an awesome day. If you have any comments, please leave in chat. We'll try to answer each and everybody's question. And let me bring everybody in and we'll get going. Let's see here. Matt, hello. How are you doing today?
Hey, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm good. I have some good news and some bad news.
Okay, just a minute. Hello, Kenny. How you doing today?
Word from Henderson, the superior part of the Clark County.
Okay. Yeah, I live in Clark County too. I'm not in the city. I'm in the county up here on the mountain. But my water bill goes to North Vegas, but I'm not in North Vegas. So let's figure that one out. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Hello, everybody in chat. Thank you for dropping in. So what's new, everybody? What's going on?
Well, I supposed to go on a trip to China, but I decided it is too short notice and I couldn't get the visa in time.
That sucks.
So, yeah, so probably next year we'll be going. So I already discussed that with the company, and I told the company I like to go in a group with several other people, and they agreed on it.
Okay. Yeah, if I got sent to China, I'd probably say the wrong thing to the wrong people, and I'd disappear. I don't know. Hard to say.
Maybe not. Never know.
All right, I got a question to ask the group, because we're basically nerds. Let's just admit
you are. I'm a.
Okay.
I'm not a nerd. I'm a super nerd.
Anyways, so while I was waiting, or in the back room before we started the meeting, I changed my thing to I'm white and nerdy. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, okay.
And I did that for a reason. Okay. Back in the day, I did go to school with somebody famous, the guy that did the song "White and Nerdy," aka Weird Al. I went to the same school.
Oh, Weird Al Yankovic.
And he was valedictorian of our high school in 1976. He went to get, well, everybody knows he went to get a degree in, making buildings, designing, in case everything didn't work out. But of course, it worked out. Anyways, so that's my main claim to fame. Weird Al.
All the nerdy people back in the day in the school photos where they look funny, they're all famous nowadays, and they make everything, whether they're rock stars or whatever they are. And all the jocks back in the day, from what I've seen, a lot of photos now work at Walmart. So anyway, yeah, that's not exactly right, but I think you kind of understand what I mean.
Yeah, there is. Because I'm a member of
brain, not.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd, man. You gotta be
nerds built the world.
You have a good expertise or something what you're good at, and you're gonna get paid for it. I mean, look at some of the footballers. I mean, if the jocks would go to the football teams and would get signed up with it, they may get lucky and get money through that way.
Jack in the Shop Laser and Jack in the Shop. We're the same person? Okay, he just has another name. Oh, I see what he did. One's on YouTube, one's on Twitch. Okay. Hello, Tim Nudd. Hello, how are you doing today? Never been to Georgia.
Me not either. I only been to Florida, Arizona, Nevada, California, Oregon, I think I was.
I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. Moved to Vegas when I was turning 5 years old. I've been to Hawaii once.
Yeah,
Where else? I've driven to Texas numerous times. I've driven to California a few times, and I think that's it. And one time I went to St. George making a delivery years ago. So that's kind of where I've been. Not many places. And now that I'm getting older, I'd have to take a nap halfway there. I'd have to pull over and take a nap or something. So kind of like seems like every afternoon I'm watching TV. I'll eat lunch, go in the living room, turn on the TV, sit on the couch, and I fall asleep. For some reason, I get really hot and then I fall asleep. So I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing.
Yeah, it's happening to me too. I mean, I fall asleep after I have a big dinner or something.
It used to just be at Thanksgiving, everybody eats a big Thanksgiving dinner and it puts them to sleep. Nowadays, it happens to me almost every day.
Wait till you get to your 60s.
Well, I'm 59. I'm right there at almost 60. So. Yeah, the only thing I've really been working on for the last 3 or 4 days is on my Etsy store. I'm working on another Dr. Doom. He's not done. I'm not done painting him. Got a lot more work to do on it yet. But I've sold 3. I've sold 3 of these in the past. It's all out of resin. Everything is hollowed. I've sold
Zoom
3.
It.
Huh?
Zoom it.
Well, it's not done. I got a lot more painting to do on it. It's not done. It's about 75% done.
So what do you ask for something like that?
Around $300, $325 once it's finished. I've sold 3 in the past. Here's what it looks like where it's not primed. Or excuse me, not painted. This has been primed, but it's not painted. I've got a video online which shows this model being printed and painting and everything.
Yeah.
And there are the holes from the red. It's hollowed out. So.
Wow, the build plate was that big on the bottom?
Yeah. The base right here is one piece. And then the throne is separate. So this base is one piece. I think that was done on the Anycubic Photo Mono X. Yeah. Just put in there at an angle. I never have it perfectly parallel. With the bottom, I'll have it slightly tipped at an angle
right.
or tilted.
Because of suction. I got it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm currently working on.
Okay, now one thing I did want to ask about that topic, the suction, okay, and I get the tilt. Well, if you got suction, but yet you got a raft, isn't a raft going to do the same thing?
No, the raft should stick to the build plate perfectly fine. It's just your model with all the layers and suction. It's best to always have things angled. Like I say, watch my videos, watch other people's videos, take everything with a grain of salt, and you kind of figure out what you remember, and then you kind of go from there. So.
Damn, but I like salt.
When you have a layer that's perfectly flat with a build plate that's doing that layer, it has a larger suction area. So if you have that part tilted slightly, it releases. It doesn't have such a large area to release all at once. So it's best to angle your part so it doesn't have any flat surfaces that it's got to release all at once. Because it's being printed upside down. So it's like it'd be better to print it like this if you could. So each layer is like this rather than perfectly flat. And you got such a large layer you're trying to release each time. It'd be easier on the print if it's tilted. You got a smaller area to release.
Right.
Hello, Vincent. How are you doing today? The Creative Realm. Hello, hello. And like I say, we're live on YouTube and Twitch today. Let me share out the link to StreamYard. Anyone wants to drop in?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the one and the only. We've got the Tick Man himself, the baby belt printer dude. We've got Rob Mink.
Hey, guys.
Word.
Hey. How's it going, Rob?
Hey, I'm doing well, thanks. Actually, I just wanted to drop in briefly and say, hey, guys, how's it going? Hope everything's going well. My bird is going nuts in the background, and my mom is visiting from out of town right now, so...
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Put her on. Put your mom on. We can
My
ask
mom?
her some questions, yeah? Maybe she can share some baby pictures.
I don't think you guys want that. No, she's actually in the other room right now, but she'll be in
Alright,
there,
cool.
I guess. She doesn't even know I'm on stream. She just went out of the room, and I'm like, I'll pop in stream real quick.
Have fun.
Well, Vincent, sell the Ender and buy a bamboo P1P or P1S or something. A lot less hassle. They're almost hassle free, almost.
I have mixed feelings about bamboo.
I have the X1 Carbon, and I rarely have issues with it. It's almost perfect. And I
Not
could
too.
care less about the whole cloud thing and updating, and it doesn't bother me. I don't give a hoot.
No,
Everyone's
I'm not.
fine.
I'm not arguing it's a great printer. I'm just all the stolen IP in it.
Oh,
That
what?
bothers me. Intellectual property. They ripped off the slicer. They ripped off the firmware. It's got a lot of stolen software in it.
I've never heard nothing about that. I don't know anybody that directly
Yeah.
works. I haven't
Where are
heard
you
about
getting
it.
that from?
Nor do I know anybody that works for the company and can say, "Oh yeah, we stole this, we stole that." So I don't know one way or another what came from where.
So
I think
that's
It's
I
a
think
fork.
confuse them with Creality.
It's a fork of Prusa, and a lot of companies use forks of Prusa, but I don't know how
no.
that's all works.
They
Right.
forked the Prusa slicer.
Oh, we got a raid coming in. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Digital Dragon is coming with a raid of 72 people. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. Digital Dragon, I hope you had an awesome stream. Oh, no, wait a minute. Digital Dragon 72 is rating with 8 viewers. Okay, I misread that. I thought it was 72. Thank you for rating. I hope you had a great stream. I really appreciate it. I just got going like 11 minutes ago. My name is Jerry of 3DHP, and each and every Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I go live on YouTube and Twitch. We talk about 3D printing, lasers, resin. We talk about the baby belt printer when the baby belt Mr. Tick guy is right here, Rob Mink. We talk about a little bit of anything and everything. So please consider following, subscribing, liking, and I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, hang out. I stream up to 3 hours every Saturday. You never know who might drop in. We have a lot of amazing makers in the community from around the world that pop in and they talk about different things. If whether they're on camera or in chat, you never know who you might run into. So thank you very much for the raid. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. No. Bamboo stole Prusa's slicer and stripped out all recognition and basically claimed it as theirs, which is against the open source license that Prusa Slicer is built on. They took the Prusa Slicer, removed all references to Prusa, and slapped their logo on it and called it theirs. And they did the same thing with the firmware too.
Huh. I've never read that. Well, what about Orca Slicer, which is a fork of bamboo?
Yes, but they acknowledge that they're a fork of Bamboo, and Bamboo published it open source, but Bamboo said that they made their own slicer and called it theirs, when realized it was a fork of Prusa.
Well, it's obvious by looking at it that it's a fork of Prusa.
Right, but they changed the copyright, they changed the history, they did everything to wipe out any trace of saying, hey, we sourced this off Prusa.
Huh.
They just copy-pasted, changed all the names, and said, here we go, we made a slicer.
It's like somebody takes an STL from somebody they buy it from, and they slightly tweak the model a little bit, and they say it's theirs.
Right, exactly. And a company, a for-profit company, stealing other people's IP and labeling as their own I won't support it.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read that.
Yeah. Joseph Prusa actually did a Twitter post on it the other day. It was like, here we go again, and wrote a whole big article on it. And
I already own the X1, and it is the best printer I've ever used in my life.
Oh, I'm not arguing that it's a great printer. I just can't. Yeah. I can't support that.
Yeah.
Physically, I don't
know. Okay.
But sorry to come in and like drop a bombshell on your
stream. Well, no worries.
But...
I've just never read that.
You think maybe he's just a little upset because Bamboo's kicking their ass so much?
Perhaps. I mean, I don't know. The whole 3D printing community, Prusa has always been open source.
Yeah.
And they had a big thing when Creality released their i3. They named it the Ender because the Chinese translation Terminator, to terminate all the competition in the i3 market, which is why they called it that. And then Bamboo doing the same thing, it's just...
Well, what company was it that made the artillery and they had to change their name because they kept getting stopped in customs because everything said artillery on the boxes?
I don't know about that one. I did know about the artillery, but I'm just scrolling through briefly, trying to see if I can find a reference in Twitter to that. Because it was
So what
huge
you're
on
talking
Twitter.
about? You mean the accusations and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, artillery sidewinder. Yeah, sidewinder missile. Yep.
I think there's a lot of backstabbing as far as manufacturing and all that. Because I mean, look what Creality's doing. I mean, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna rip off my
the one sure
printer.
does look like a bamboo lab. You know.
Yeah, everybody copies everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no problem with copying as long as you give source.
Give credit.
Yeah, give credit. Creality, when I went to Earth, Creality was walking through, looking at things, asking questions. The only way that I've realized they're Creality is because they had on their backpack had a tiny little label about this big sewn into the seam of their backpack that said Creality. They came and asked me questions about the baby belt, my other printers and stuff. Never introduced themselves as Creality.
Years ago, there was a city somewhere, I think in Japan, that was called USA. It was on 60 Minutes years ago. So all their products said "Made in USA" because they were in USA, Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Come on, Rob. You can find it.
I found one on June 7th about Creality doing the same thing. Stealing somebody else's firmware. I'm looking. I've got to go actually soon. My mom stuck her head and she's ready to go. We're gonna go out to dinner.
Oh, were you going Applebee's or Outback Steakhouse?
Ugh, neither.
Red Lobster.
No, we're gonna go to a little hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant that's about 45
I believe
minutes away.
this is Gene Gamble's son, since I believe Gene Gamble passed away a while back. It says the license on the GitHub page for the Bamboo Slicer gives credit to Prusa Slicer.
Right, but they did that after they got called out publicly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that happened with a model from, who was a model from Abbey or somebody. One of the companies was giving it away, saying it was theirs, and they realized it wasn't. And then I believe they sent her a couple printers, and I'm sorry, and they fixed it. But of course, it was after the fact. That's kind of how things usually work.
You know what?
Wolf Leader 3D, hello.
I openly and fully apologize. It was the Anycubic slicer.
Okay.
Yeah, and
What? I didn't hear that from. I mean, I'm at the Anycubic, and I never heard anybody.
Okay, Gene, I apologize. There was somebody in the community that passed away around 6 months ago. I can't think of his name. I thought it was Gene because his son was using his account. I'm sorry, Gene. Yeah, I'm glad that you're okay, but it was someone else. I can't. Chat, refresh my memory. I can't remember his name. He worked at Home Depot forever, and he was in our community for a very long time, and he passed away like 3 or 4 months ago. And I remember his son had dropped on using his handle to let everybody know. So I got my names wrong. Edge of 3D, hello.
That's what I kind of remember too. Being an early adapter. What just popped up.
yeah.
I don't think there ever was a problem.
Here, let me share that for you, Rob.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to jar my memory.
Yeah, I feel bad that I said that. I'm really sorry, Gene.
My idea about the printer, what I like to do, is it's a combination of things, you know.
Lopez Liz. Luby, she was at Murph with Bamboo Printers. All is well, simple mistake.
Well, to be honest though, I don't really have the
I saw
time.
the other day a quad IDEX. I mean, only a few pictures, you know, some from there and there, and it looked pretty good. Pretty big, decent size. Was I think 400 by 400.
Pezils. This was not the most recent Murph. It was last year's Murph, and there were two of them together. It could have could have been, but that was my experience. Not this most recent Murph, but year before. But I've got to jump out. Actually, it's time to go to dinner. But yeah.
Uh-oh.
Bon appetit.
Is your mom cooking?
Later.
No, we're going out to Chinese about 40 miles away, 40 minutes
cool.
away.
Love Chinese food.
Yeah,
American Chinese food.
Oh, this is a little hole in the wall. They do really good stuff, and it's not just like Chinese, like Americanized Chinese. It's like eggplant and stuff like that. It's good.
Well, you're gonna get orange chicken too. I hope that's my favorite. Beef chow fun. I've tried that for the last couple months, and it's really good. I never heard of beef chow fun until I seen a man on YouTube do videos about it. And beef chow fun's really good. Really good.
Okay.
Get some Peking duck.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Chris Mink is in the chat. Hello, Chris. Saying what's up,
Chris.
Rob?
Hey, oh, Chris. I think I reached out to you. I found another mink over the 4th of July. But I don't think he has any relation to either one of us, amazingly. But yeah.
I met another Jerry Knapp years ago in Las Vegas, somebody that had my name, a younger guy, and I was completely floored. He looked at me like so. It really shocked me to find somebody else with my same name. And we were both applying for a job at this place years ago, and they called me out by name. We both stood up, and I questioned him. He said, yeah, that was his same name. He showed me his ID. It's like, wow, that completely blew me away.
What is that town that's up north from us? I mean, that little hickey town.
From
Tonopah?
No.
Reno?
I'll think of some other. No, not that far up. Anyways, I ran into another Kenny Sims from Henderson.
Thank you, Rob.
At a chili cook-off up there.
Okay, cool.
I think it's about 40 miles out of Pahrump in Nevada. That's the way we went.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My brother's got land out in Pahrump. He lives out there. I used to have land out there, 2.5 acres.
Henderson.
Except it was all dirt. That's what's sad about Pahrump. It's all dirt. Mink's the common name. Okay. Like to pop in, Dan, and chat. You're welcome to. Rob Mink or Chris Mink. You're welcome to pop in if you'd like to come and hang out. Pez lives.
Yeah,
We've got Vincent popping in, everyone. Hey, Vincent.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing today?
I'm okay. Tinkering around with the printers and trying to fix it. I got a lot of clogging issues. It feels like I bought a Capricorn Bowden tube, but it's like a fake one or something. So I got a lot of clogging issues with both my machines. Same issues.
Did you change out the nozzle?
I tried everything already. Switched new nozzles, new Bowden tube, and I every time had the same problem. It's moving out of the
coupler.
What's it called again?
The coupler.
Yeah, and I
switched
the coupler. Yeah, I already did that. I switched everything out.
Are you putting a lock on the coupler? Are you lifting the coupler up and locking it?
Yeah, I got a little clip for it.
It can't move up if it's locked, or it's a bad coupler. If it's moving up anyway, it's a bad coupler. It's not gripping it.
The only issue I think I can find, maybe it's an imitation Bowden tube or something.
Yeah, I bought real Capricorn and I bought
never had this before.
Yeah, it's biting it.
Yeah.
Just order some more Capricorn or TH3D. Well, you're not in America. You can't get TH3D, but you can get Capricorn.
Yeah, I changed the Bowden tube already, but I think it's a cheap Bowden tube. It's basically a fake Capricorn, and that's I think that's my issue, because I got the same issue with both machines.
Yeah, change out the Bowden.
Yeah, change out.
Even if you got a stock white one, put a stock white one back in it.
Yeah, I don't have any more. I have to order it.
Okay.
So. And
then when you cut it, don't use blues cutters, because you crimp, you smash the cable. Cut it straight with a razor blade, or buy a proper cutter and snap it.
Yeah, I've got something for it. Put a filament in there and then cut it. Otherwise, you will squish it.
Yeah, that's how I do it too.
I was always taught you cut at an angle.
Not going into the hot end. You don't. It's got to be perfectly flat. And you're talking about filament. You always cut at an angle, but the PTFE you always want it flush, especially
I had
the
a lot
end
of
that goes into hot end has
issues
to be flush.
when you put the Bowden tube in. I had a lot of issues with the Creality machines trying to put it in. Just grab one of these clippers and you can snip it off very nice like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
So,
on the
yeah.
bamboo, it doesn't have to be angled. Just run it in straight on the bamboo. If you have an AMS, that is.
So I think it's the Bowden tube that I bought a couple of months ago.
Now I've had PTFE go bad right where it goes in the coupler at the right above the hot end on the heat sink. In time, it builds up and burns, and you have to trim off like a quarter of an inch because it just gets hot over time and starts getting melted, and filament starts getting bunched up there, and you'll have under extrusion.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens with mine. Only it happens after one print, like 6 hours or something already. So that's why I'm thinking it's a fake Bowden tube or something. Because it happens after a 5-6 hour print.
Yeah, just replace it.
Yeah,
be sure you throw that one away. Don't put it in your scrap bin, and then in 6 months you forget what's new and what's old, and you reuse it again.
No, I'm gonna buy a whole new kit, new couplers and everything, so I know for sure it's new.
Okay.
And after that, I'm saving up for a reliable machine because I got a customer there, and I'm losing my customer if I keep on going like this.
Oh yeah.
It's a big issue.
Kenny, I just cleaned my laser too. My Lasermatic 10. It didn't need it once I took the head apart and cleaned the lens and everything. It was perfectly fine. Had a little debris and built up on the outside of everything, and then I took out the honeycomb bed and vacuumed it out, and I Windexed everything, cleaned it up real good with spray away glass cleaner that I use for resin also, and blue shop towels.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to look up last week after I left. Spray away. What is that? Is that just like Windex?
It's a foaming action spray away glass cleaner. It does a really good job at eating up resin. You can clean anything with it, your mirrors, anything in your house you can use it on. And whenever I have any kind of a resin spill or when I clean out the vat completely, I use spray away glass cleaner instead of IPA. And I
Where do you get that?
Walmart.
Okay.
And Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot should have it. Spray away glass cleaner.
Spray away.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of it.
You'll find
Joe, I don't trim the Bowden.
Oh, that's
if
okay.
something happens, I switch it out.
Yeah, next week I'm going to go to Costco. I got 2 $100 gift cards that when I got my new cell phone that was in the deal on my son's plan. So I got to go pick them up for my son and go out there. And I don't have a Costco membership, but if you got a gift card, then you don't have to have a membership to use it. Oh, you finally got a K40. Oh, very cool, Dan. Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I installed an amp meter on mine, Dan, so I could check the amperage, even though you're running everything through Lightburn. And I put in a little water wheel on the top of it so I can see when water is being pumped through the tube in the back. I can physically see that water is going through the water wheel, and I don't fire it and something's malfunctioned and I burn up my tube. I put a little water wheel in I bought off of Amazon. But I sold my K40.
So would you say a K40 is a great introduction into CO2, even though we've discussed the size?
Yeah, it's an 8x12 area, so it's very small. Originally designed in China for making stamps, but yeah, it's something. It's a great starting point, and they go
for a CO2.
Yeah, for a CO2, it's a 40. If you got the money, go to a 50 or 60. Get something bigger because once you get it, and use it for a little bit, you're like, wow, I sure wish I had something bigger. But if I could have done it all over again, I would have bought something larger. But
yeah.
No, Jack, no Costco gift card giveaway. That was funny. Anyway, and there will not be a filament giveaway today. Ziltech only allows me to give away 3 rolls a month. We've already went through those 3 weeks. So this week and next week, I will not have a giveaway. But we'll entertain you, and we'll talk about all kinds of stuff, and we have all kinds of people that might pop in. You never know who might pop in talking about whatever they're talking about.
But if you do buy a certain software, you can get a free reel.
From
Tell them
Polymaker.
about that, Jerry.
What's that?
Did a few weeks ago.
Q-Forge?
Yeah. That was
Oh, if
pretty
you
cool.
buy Q-Forge software and you want to do some really cool filament painting,
Yeah.
Polymaker, which says on the Q-Forge website, will reimburse you for that cost towards filament. So if you buy a $39 license or a $12 license or a $79 license, you'll get a credit from Polymaker in a couple of days from Nick, and you can put that towards filament. So the software
I think
costs you nothing.
150 is the limit, I think, on YouTube.
Well, I don't-
I
it's-
think
it says on-
a permanent license, I think, is 150 pounds.
I'm not sure. It says on Q-Forge on their website.
Past list, do you know if you're still in the chat?
Yeah, Dan, when I bought my K40, it didn't support light burn, only laser Gerbil. So I had to buy a Gerbil board from a company down in Australia. But some of the K40s coming out now, they put newer boards in them so they'll support light burn. And then I just had like a 25-foot USB cord. I tethered it to my PC. So, and then I bought a, what was it, 190 CFM. The fan that's on it doesn't evacuate anything. So, and also the right behind the gantry where the exhaust port sticks out on that, I took that exhaust port out and I shortened it to give me more cutting area. That big exhaust port that's back there in the back, I had shortened it up by a couple inches.
Peace. Hey, 3D Medic Vince. How are you doing?
Till the 24th.
Cutting the Bowden tube so I cannot use it anymore. I know how it is here. And then I forget it and put it back in the drawer and then, oh, it's the wrong one.
Okay.
So I cannot never use it again. I was lucky I still had a piece laying around.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say was K40 Whisper. Yeah. Which I've never used it. I went straight to light burn.
I think one time when I did a Bowden for my bamboo, I think I tried to use what you cut copper pipe with just to see if it would work, and it actually did. So I wouldn't crimp it.
The tubing cutter?
Yeah. I mean, the small one.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, I think before I had the proper cutter, it looks like scissors, I had printed out a mod off of Thingiverse and I put a razor blade in it. That way it holds it straight and you snap it perfectly straight and you cut it.
You mean one of these?
I got 3 or 4 of those. You can buy those, yeah. Those are perfect for cutting it perfectly straight. Yeah, Lightburn's a great program. Lightburn's starting to work with Galvos now, and they're going to be getting into CNCs and stuff. So at some point, Lightburn will be the go-to for anything.
Big learning curve for me, though. I thought I had everything set up to go to the shed last night from this computer. I took my flash drive out there. It's like, where's my commands? You know, my steps. It didn't load it.
Yeah, I'm helping right now some people on Polymaker Discord website. I have a category called lithophanes, and you can find me there. And I help people out in there how to print lithophanes, basically. And I just was answering some questions earlier.
Here's my wife in chat, Betty Boop.
Hey, Betty Boop.
Hello, Pete.
So, if you're interested, go over to the Polymaker website. You find me over there, Lithophane, Matt German, under Lithophane. You can't miss me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the one and the only. We got the imitation, not the real one. The guy in the UK, the real Sam Prentice. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
My wife said you was in China. My wife said that he was in China. It's like, where'd you see that at? He said, I've seen
No. I was at the Chinese embassy.
Yeah.
I was at the Chinese embassy. That was in London.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. That's not yet. That's happening later. Later on. A little bit later on.
So what's new today? What's going on?
What is going on? Well, the K1 Max is here doing its thing. It's pretty noisy with the lid taken off. I've had a couple of issues with it where if you're printing in a hot room for a long period of time and it basically heats up above 30 degrees, there's a problem with the extruder gear and the filament basically gets stuck inside of the gear. So it basically gets stuck inside of here, and it's a nightmare to get it out. So you have to kind of drill it out and do a bunch of stuff with it. So you have to take the lid off. But in doing so, and I don't know how noisy it is for you, but here it's not. Well, it's slightly unbearable. Put it that way. So I've just done a video on that. That's just gone out on YouTube, and now I've basically freed up my day. So hooray! Because these things take a long time. You know, editing videos and stuff. It's
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Scott, Edge of 3D. Hello,
He
Scott.
I'm trying to get in ahead
could
of
not
Sam.
keep away. That guy could not keep away.
No, I've been actually on here watching. You can see I've had comments on the screen over
I know.
there.
See, he's admitting he's your stalker.
So
Oh, good.
I was
Damn,
trying to
glad-
get
I'm
in
glad
ahead
you're
of
keeping it.
Sam, but I failed again, as always.
Yeah, I've tried contacting Corrality on their Facebook group and emailing them, and I'm not getting anywhere because I don't have a contact, but I'll keep trying.
Keep
I've
trying.
never been contacted by Creality.
Or actually, when I didn't email them, I got on their Facebook page. I tried to chat with them live, but I'm sure I was talking to a bot. So anyway.
Just to answer Guy the Jedi's comment, where do you go? So basically, if you look at your ID number, it's your ID number of your printer. You copy that. You then go onto the link that Creality put out. You pop it in. It then syncs with your Creality Cloud, and then you get a premium membership for a year. So there you go.
Very nice.
But
And
after a year, you have to
their
pay for
upgrade
it.
kit is live now as well. Their $2.99 upgrade kit, that's live as well, I believe.
Yep, there's it's really weird. It's really weird. It sort of sounds like Creality have been listening, and yeah, I don't know, just really like a whole host of stuff that they've just come out with. So the open source thing I knew about, and then I got another message about it about 6 hours before they were due to kind of do their live with it, and yeah. September is the date. There are some other firmwares out there though. You know, there's some rogue firmware sort of being sent out here and there. And as I say, I had a couple of issues. Again, they were heat generation issues because this is all metal. And what you get is on the motor, where the motor attaches to this. Originally, they had metal on metal. So literally, the heat transfer was just going straight into here, straight through the gears, heating everything up inside the gears. And then it was melting some of the filament as it was being extruded. So it was actually getting gummed up in here. And that was a problem on the K1 as well as the K1 Max. And again, one of the reasons that you've got to take the top off is because that's getting super, super hot. But they put a gasket in there now. So like that's a gasket. That's what we call a gasket in the UK. That's a gasket.
Rubber ring.
Exactly. Sandwiches between.
Insulator.
So
I got a question for you right quick, Sam.
uh-oh.
Have you started putting those wheels together yet?
No, I'm waiting for the bearings. The bearings are coming from China.
Just wait. Just wait till you go to start assembling these wheels. This is a 20-hour job. This wheel.
No, really.
Wow.
It's not that bad, but trying to get all those damn pins to line up and the washers to stay in there and everything and get it to click together. What a...
I think I might outsource them. I might outsource them to Ryan, and then he can send them back to me. I'll just collect them in the States.
I actually thought about sending Ryan a message. So I'm going to send you a package with $100 bill and a return label.
He'll do it. You know, he'll do it though, right? You know, that's what will happen. He will do it.
It's great, you know, because
Michael Laws might be dropping in today. It's real early for him in Australia, but he might come today.
Oh,
and
cool.
we might even have Uncle Jesse pop in today, possibly.
Good God, sure
yesterday. I've tried to get him on a live stream for like 3 or 4 years now, but he said he might pop in if he can. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
It's really weird that because I was due to send Michael Laws an email about something else, and I've been meaning to do it. So if he does pop in, then we can see how that goes.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's kind of nice when people can get together and chat, just like Scott right here. He's seen you're on camera. He want to talk to you about something physically. He popped in chat, showed you, and you can visually talk about it real quick. So, or you could hook up and StreamYard offline. I'm sure a lot of people do that too.
No, I just wait on.
I sometimes call him at 4 o'clock in the morning when there's a storm.
Yeah,
I just ring him.
No, it wasn't 4 o'clock in the morning here. It was 2 a.m. when you called me.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
After you're out checking on your on your weed that you call a plant.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one with my snake.
Yeah, that picture was a joke. It has nothing about the snake. It was about the plant. Sam just wanted to see how people would react to it, I'm sure.
You know, though, I did get a message from Design Prototype Test, though. So I was like, hello. Yeah, so that was interesting. That was interesting.
Was he was the message because he was a fan of your T-shirt design? Or?
Well, I don't think he's actually seen that. I don't think that's really been brought to his attention. But I think he said something that could have been, you could have read into it, I think. And I think that's the danger with that guy. You've got to be a little bit cautious of what's going on in his mind at any given time. But I did see it pop up and went, hello, what's this? And it wasn't anything sort of too heinous. So, you know, whatever. Never mind. I'll tell you what, let me grab my wallet real quick. I want to tell you something.
Okay.
He's
Probably
going
going
to
to
grab
show
his
us how
wallet.
much money he has in there.
He's going to go grab his wallet and show us how much money he doesn't have because he's married with a child.
Oh, probably that too.
That's why
Is
he's
it true
having
that
grow. That's why he
the true
can't
that
grow
children
real
eat your
plants
hair
in
off
his.
your hair?
Here's a comment for you from Daniel, if you get a minute.
Hey, same Prentice. I've been called worse. My K1 started to show Creality K1 key 260. Okay, yeah. Probably contact support. No, that's probably going to be something to do with the extruder. Sorry, the hot end. So I'd probably try and unplug it from the board, plug it back in again. Again, the Creality printers have got a number of kind of daughter boards that are kind of scattered around, so it might be a plug issue. Otherwise, if they sent you another hot end, like this one, use that one instead. Definitely upgrade it. They've now upgraded these completely, so the hot end is completely different now. So there's a copper tip on it and stuff. So, but what I was going to show you, Jerry, if Michael does pop in, this is my wallet.
Yeah, I've seen that in one of your videos. You're showing a picture.
There he is.
Of Michael, and then you had the other man there with you too.
Yeah, Nathan's in it as well. Nathan thought it was. Nathan messaged and said he thought it was really, really creepy, and I just said, "Welcome to my world." He's in it now. So
well, as long as you don't walk out of some restroom in a public event and you're putting them back in your wallet, you're perfectly fine.
Indeed.
I'm not even going to try to wrap my head around that one, Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's a new Twitter challenge. Hashtag Sam's wallet to see what it takes to get a prominent place in Sam's wallet to be carried with Sam through all eternity.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very special place in my heart that needs to be drilled out. Waiting for the upgrade kit to come. Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? So you can't print at all right now, right, Daniel? That's really frustrating. Didn't you have another issue? Didn't you message me about another issue? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's bizarre. But the open source news is pretty good on the Creality K1. They're open sourcing everything now. So I heard Rob talking about Prusa's message, and immediately I thought, I swear that was Anycubic that did that, not Bamboo. I think that's
Bamboo credited Slick 3R and Prusa before they ever shipped their first printer. When they were still in pre-sale on Kickstarter, they were advertising that their slicer was based on Slick 3R / Prusa. So
that's what I was thinking. Because I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it was definitely Anycubic. Basically, took Prusa slicer, literally edited everything that says Prusa on it, and then it said Anycubic research, which was really funny. They shouldn't be doing that. They know better. Anycubic know better than that. They must know better than that. But,
Dan, if you're in chat, I sent you a PM message on Facebook.
No, Sam, it prints and sometimes it comes up. But yeah, horrid noise. I said, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He had a bearing noise, and I think there was something out of alignment, wasn't there? You sent me some messages on that. Cool. It's all good. All good stuff. It's all good stuff. But talking of bamboos, can we talk about bamboo for a second?
Talk about whatever you want.
Maybe.
Okay. So the
Maybe.
P1S, I've got no interest at all in the P1S, but I did get a package today.
Oh.
Oh snap!
If you don't want it, you know, I can give you my address.
Well, I don't know what it is. I've got to open it up first. So we'll see what's inside.
Well, based on the side of it, it looks like a bamboo box. So we'll go from there.
Yeah, it is.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So we shall see. We'll see what happens.
Live unboxing.
P1 PS.
I'm not interested in it. I'm really not interested in it. It just doesn't make any sense. What would have made more sense is for them to bring out a surprise larger printer. That would have been interesting. And then at that point, you see, there's a bone of contention really, because Creality open sourcing their firmware, which we know is Clipper, in this machine is far more interesting than the P1S by quite some distance, because being a closed source printer and being proprietary for their hot ends and all the rest of it, this opens up. This is like the renaissance of the Ender 3, modifying that and, you know, getting super speedy prints using community backing. It's, you know, potentially there's an unlimited amount of resources that could be sort of put into this and fed into this. So, yeah, really interesting. Yeah. Everybody wants a printer, baby. I'll send, if you want a printer, I'll send you a printer, but it won't be good. It won't be that current. So I have got a number of printers. If you are in the UK and you want one because you want one, not just because you're greedy, I'm happy to ship printers out to people. So I've got some Sovals, I've got some other bits and pieces.
Well, I'm really close to Paris.
You're really close to Paris.
Yeah, we got the Eiffel Tower right down the strip.
Yeah, I had no idea until before the stream that the UK was an island. I thought it was on a main landmass. And Matt's wife showed me a picture. Go, no. See, it's an island right here. Matt says it's about as big as California, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's one place I regret not going to when I was over there.
Hey, well, the one thing about it, though, if you look at Google Earth and you zoom in and you see the whole UK, you can actually see Sam Prentice's house. It's the largest house in Windsor.
I thought you were going to say if you zoom in, you can see Sam Prentice's ego. And I would have agreed with that.
Well, no, you don't need to zoom in to see Sam Prentice's ego. You can see that from the whole Earth view.
That's like an old hemisphere. Yeah, okay.
Anything new, Scott, you've been working on other than just stuff?
His jokes. He's been working on his jokes.
Yeah, I've been working on my jokes. Let's see. No, just getting death racers and dragsters and stuff ready for Earth. I'm working on some content right now for Big Tree Tech. And yeah, that's pretty much.
Oh yeah, you had a picture on Twitter. I think it was you're building an Ender or something. It's like you haven't done this in years, but.
Yeah, I went out to the shed. I've got a whole pallet of Enders out in the shed. So I went out to the shed last night and grabbed a Ender off the pallet and brought it in and put it together. It took about 20 minutes. So I still remembered how to do that. I only had to put the one upright on twice to get it turned the right direction for the power supply. And went ahead and fired it up. Tried to figure out how to level it, but it's been so many years since I've done that. That was, interesting. But I think the motherboard must have been junk on it because it would start printing and then it would take random trips to the edge of the bed and then it would just stop. And pulled out a new SD card and used this different SD card known to be good, sliced it with 3 different slicers. So it was definitely a problem with whatever the hell version of motherboard this is, because that's a new one on me. The GD up there on the, unfortunately my camera's not going to auto zoom, but you know, with Ender boards, you have to, the Creality boards, you have to look at the version here, but then you have to look at what's handwritten up here to figure out what board it is. And this is a new one on me. It's a GD. I'd never seen that one before, but it'll go in the trash with all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So, is a GD chip on the motherboard? Is it actually on the main processor?
That's got to be what it is, but my eyes ain't good enough to look at it. I have to do it this way.
I'd love for him to go into another room and ask somebody else. Hey, hey there, Billy. Can you?
Scott, I did have a question about that tire that you said you had a problem putting together. Is that the type of tire like you see in those forklifts where you can do like a 360 right in the same spot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mecanum wheel. It is a GD.
What do they call those wheels?
Mecanum.
Mecanum?
Yeah,
Well, we call it
MECANUM.
We call them
Mecanum.
Mecanum in the UK.
The Mecanum. It is a
Oh,
GD
Polly.
chip, Sam.
It's a GD chip, is it? That's really
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a GD processor on there.
How old are those printers then? Less than 12 months?
Hell, I have no idea. It was a pallet of CompGirl returns. Yeah, they're less than 12 months.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's really interesting because that is the replacement chip for the global chip shortage. They started using the GD chips instead of the STM32 chips.
Okay. Well, that's
So-
what it had the GD chip on it. Like I say, that's the first one I pulled out that I've seen with that GD on there. So I didn't know what it was, but anyway, I trashed it because it's the whole point of putting the printer together was to for the Manta EZ3 board.
Gotcha.
So Big Tree Tech sent me that Manta board with the CB1 and the drivers and stuff. So I'm doing an upgrade on an Ender 3 video with that, and then I will take and convert that into a Core XY.
Matt German's turned into a dog.
Puppy Cam.
Your kid is Taco Bell.
There was one in here under my feet, and it just disappeared.
Yeah, my logo that Nick had made me when I uploaded that to Redbubble to put it on my shirts and my hats, the logo was real tiny on the shirt, and I couldn't make it any larger. So I contacted Nick about sizing it up for me, and then I talked to Matt German right before the live stream. He used a program called PhotoPad, and within 5 minutes he sent it back to me, and he increased the size. So I went on to Redbubble and added that. So he took care of it real quickly. So I wrote down that program, PhotoPad. I'll download that. So if I ever have an image that's too small, I can resize it with that program. And I thank you very much, Matt.
Well, I got my new logo done, and everybody thinks it's Jerry.
Yeah.
Hang on here a second. I'll put it up on screen.
Bald and goatee. Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I've never seen it.
Did you think, Jerry, that looks like me? Hey, that looks like me. That Scott's trying to rip off my image.
I don't remember what I thought when I seen it. When he shares it here, I'll look at it.
Hang on. I got to get my OBS to cooperate with me.
Oh, I was going to wear a white shirt today, too, Mr. Clean. I had one I laid out. There we go. No, it looks like Scott.
Now,
Looks like
somebody said that looked more like you than it did me. So then I
Huh.
sent a picture of the picture that I gave the artist to work off of, and then Sam had to make a comment about where the wires were coming from, and then the train just completely went off the rails and down into the bottom of the
You look like an
canyon.
MMA wrestler there in that picture.
He does. He looks like Hulk Hogan selling Dysons.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was going through a bunch of shirts the other day and stuff I've had for years. So I got a big, giant, heavy, large Lowe's box. I took it to Goodwill, donated a lot of clothes. And in one of it, I found a big white T-shirt. I'm thinking, hey, I got my earring and I got my bald head. I can look like Mr. Clean for the live stream, but I forgot about it. So
Drop the ball.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good fun. All good fun.
yeah, Grant, when I contacted him the other day, he goes, "Oh, Sam was on. When was that? I never got a notification." I said, "Well, he was on this morning. I woke up about 6 o'clock and Sam was on talking about the K1, and then the next day you're on again. I guess he missed that one also. I told Grant that you're on a second time. So anyway,
Sam's
Yeah,
been
I was
on about
supposed
every
to-
morning.
I was supposed to do some stuff on Thursday as well, but YouTube had a problem and it was down, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on at work and stuff. So I couldn't quite get to grips with it. Plus, I needed to actually make a proper video which again has zapped the majority of my day today. But there's a real problem with content creation is that if you're not quick to getting your video out, you kind of don't get seen. So it's still a dilemma, and sometimes it's not as simple as just being able to record something and then it be ready for editing.
I'm no longer a virgin.
It's first resin print.
And resin printing.
Looks good.
Is that your very first one, Kenny?
My very first one off the printer I bought off of Jerry.
That's pretty impressive.
Uniformation GK2 8K resin printer.
Yeah, and that thing is quiet.
The only thing you hear running is the heaters. They're the fan. Well, on mine, I hear the heaters. Yours are underneath the build plate, so I'm not sure if you hear anything or not.
Yeah, mine, that thing runs real quiet.
Oh, Sam, what we were talking about that I contacted Grant about, if that's okay with you, he needs to hear, you need to message him and say, yeah, sure, that's fine. And then he can release that to me, but that's up to you.
Gotcha. No, I've not. So what happened was he did that at Earth, and we haven't really spoken about it since. He messaged me and said it's ready to message him, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then it just didn't happen. I don't remember what happened, but I do need to speak to him about that. So yeah, thanks for the reminder there.
Yeah, if it's printable, I'd like to do a video about it, and then I can plug both you guys in it and whatever. Cool. And I paint it. I could paint it.
Sounds good. What did any of you guys catch Tripod from the Future today?
No.
Oh, that's a video you've got to see. 100% you've got to see. He materializes from the future.
Terminator style?
It's next level. Sorry, Terminator style. No.
Yeah. Then I'm not going to watch it. No.
Okay, Sergio.
That might be a suggestion that you could maybe put in a video. I think. I'd like to see that. Well, I wouldn't like to see that. I'd like to see the.
Remember, you got to be butt naked.
Exactly.
Good luck with that rat rig. I built one.
Yeah, I think Sam's got a 500 too, don't you, Sam?
Yeah, I've got 500, a 400, and a V Minion.
Well, if you buy the kit, it's just you got a lot to put together, but everything should go together fine.
Hey, there's Marcel.
The guesswork. Marcel, hello, my friend. Long time no see. The Canadian actor that used to come on once in a while, and he flies drones and has a great channel on YouTube. Hey, if you want to pop in, Marcel, here's a link. Oh, that's not the link. Let me get the right link. Copied the wrong thing there. There we go. There's the correct link. Yeah, I randomly do videos when I do them. I don't get enough current content that I have to get something out immediately. But yeah, I understand if there's no one online that already done a video about this, you better hurry, because then your numbers will fall. People will still watch it no matter when you bring it out, but you'll get more hits if you're one of the first.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, and of course, it's a weird. I think once you get to grips with YouTube a bit more, and when people reach out to you and say, hey, can you review this printer? And I got one recently. It was a Core XY. I can't remember, 2 trees I think it was, but I messaged him back and said, this printer's 3 years old. Like, what do you want me to say about it? Like, is there something new? No, we just want you to review it. And I was just like, I can't. Maybe I'm not seeing it right, but like I think my subscribers probably want to see the new stuff and they want to see robots and stuff, right? So
I've had that happen on a lot of stuff, and they're losing money or they want to clear the warehouse out, so they think that if you refresh it and you're talking about it, they can sell them. I don't review old products.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really, really weird. And then again, of course, the other thing is the sponsored content versus paid content versus whatever, So it becomes a dilemma of sorts. And then there's also getting paid as well, because some companies will say, yeah, we'll pay you your rate. That's fine. And I go, okay. And then 3 months later, I'm still waiting. Any cubic? What? So. Yeah.
I I got an idea for a video off the top of my head.
Go on.
Who wants to pay for it? I got it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
For this idea, it's a great idea.
It's not a Terminator
Top bidder.
going through time thing, is it?
Okay, I'll mention what I'm talking about.
Cool.
I'm trying to right now build a add to my workbench to where I can put my paints and stuff. And I bought this file off of Etsy. And I need board that is 12 by 18, where we all know that 12 by 12, that's not bad. But if you get anything past 12 by 12, you're going to pay an arm and a leg. Well, go to Home Depot, fire up your saw, and cut your own. And you'll save tons of money. You can make a video on that.
Yeah.
You know, if people don't, I didn't think about it till last night. You know, that I can go to Home Depot and buy 1/8, which is basically the same thing as 3mm, and make my own, cut my own.
Yeah, I buy birds from Lowe's. Like I say, it's like 2x3, and then I cut it down on my chop saw or my table saw, depending on how big it is. But it's like $18 a sheet, and they're real small, and I can get probably 6 12 by 12 squares out of it with a little left over. And it's a lot thicker than the 3mm basket I buy off Amazon, which I don't really like because it warps so easy. When you get it fresh and sealed up in a pack, it cuts fine. But after it sits for a while, air gets to it, it starts twisting and warping. So,
Yeah.
and I don't think Sam will ever get into CNC because it's so messy and noisy.
Well, I have the Maker Made thing, and if I had,
I'll be back.
yeah, I mean, you're right. It is super messy, and you know, room is very much at a premium still.
Here you
You
go.
want to show something there, Matt?
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that online. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
you can
Avoid
download
injury,
this
don't touch the
from
3D printers.
you
I'll
can
beat you
download
with
that
the
from printables. And this one you can download from printables too.
Forget the dog, beware the wife.
Yeah. I like this one.
Was that big stick in that first one called Louise?
No, my printers.
No, I'm talking about the Walking Dead baseball bat. I think I got the name right, huh? Louise?
Yeah, the name.
Man, I'm so sad. My ends is over.
Well, I watched it a couple days ago. That couldn't have been the last episode. Oh, it couldn't have been the last episode because somebody got shot, but I don't think he died, but we didn't see what happened. So I think there must be another show coming.
Is he still alive?
Oh, I didn't see anything. I don't want to use names, but no, somebody's got shot in it, and the morgue is bringing somebody out at somebody's house, but I don't think it's what it seems to be. There should be another show coming probably, or more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It might have already came out. Is it already out? One after that?
Yeah.
All right. I'll watch it after the
Yeah,
stream.
I have satellite, so yeah, I'm watching it live. I'm not watching
Lucille. I don't know why. Yeah, Lucille. Thank you. Not Louise. As a matter of fact, I was watching one of the new episodes this morning where they're in New York and they were talking about Lucille. Yeah, I like Keegan. It's just a shame all the crap that happened in past seasons, but when that, anyway. Some actors, you see them in shows and they portray a bad person. You meet them in real life, and the only thing you can think is you want to hit them because that's set in your mind if they're that person.
Yeah, a lot of Coronation Street actors and East Enders actors get it here in England. Like I seen in when I was living in Manchester, and there was this kid Rodney or whatever he's playing on this show, and a whole bunch of elderly ladies start talking to him, and one of the elderly lady, "You're a bad person," and try to hit him with the back, and I'm like, oh, poor kid. And he was only like maybe 16, 17, So it was funny. Well, not for him, but
anything anybody want to talk about? Where I'm hearing crickets.
crickets. I like crickets. Crickets done, dunked in chocolate. That's not bad.
Man, speaking of cricket, when I went to, because you know how you turned me on to Hobby Lobby? I went to Hobby Lobby the other day. I'm looking all over for mats, right? To go in front of the resin printer.
Yeah.
I'm looking all over for mats. And I caught myself walking down the cricket aisle.
Amazon, they're like $10. Just order a couple. They'll be out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dog mats, pet mats. You can get real expensive ones from my orange mats. Where the hell did they come from? Wham Bam mats. Or you can go buy them off of Amazon. Same thing, different color.
Speaking of Wham Bam, what do you think about Wham Bam? I mean, I got that type of stuff on my bamboo, but
a flex plate on a resin printer, I've had them on a couple because I reviewed their product. They're completely unnecessary. I wouldn't put one on it. Totally don't need it. It's just something else you have to clean. And then you can never, ever submerge a vat in IPA because you got that big magnet sticker there, and that IPA will eat up the backing. So you can never, ever clean the vat in IPA. They work. I've had them on 2 printers, but I would never put one on it again.
Okay, thanks.
So, and I only did it because I got them free to review. They work, but they're unnecessary.
The other place I could see where they would be necessary that is their selling point is like if you're doing production for cells, where you can put another one in there. But for what you said, that makes sense too.
Pete, let me correct myself. I'm talking about for resin printers. The flex plates they make are great. I have flex plates on all my 3D printers. I love flex plates. But on the resin printer, it's not needed. Because the minute you get your spatula underneath the corner of your resin print, 99% of the time it'll pop right off. I'm only talking about resin printers. But flex plates, in general, I love them. So.
And here I just went and bought Wham Bam flex plates for my resin printer. Thanks, Jerry.
Well, I think they're unnecessary. I mean, they work, but I think they're unnecessary. Some build plates, when you can submerge the whole build plate in IPA, if you have that big giant sticker on there that the flex plate sticks to, it'll eat up your glue. So you have to hand clean them all the time.
Well, the problem I got is the current engineering resin that I'm printing with. Even if I can get the scraper under one corner of it, I can't get it to release from the plate without.
Okay.
It sticks to the plate way too well, and I've reduced the exposure time down and tried everything in the world, and it sticks too well. And having a flex plate where I can flex it off there, I think might help, but I don't know. I haven't tried it. So
I sanded one of my plates one time on the Anycubic because it was sticking too well, and I got it too smooth, and then I had trouble getting it to stick, so I had to scuff it back up. But yeah, there might be applications that I'm not unaware of when it would be good on a resin printer. But in my own experiences for what I do making models, it's something I could live without, and it works fine without it. But yeah, if you're having trouble getting things to release, it'd be good.
I saw a thing on YouTube the other day where if you're having a problem with that, stick it in the refrigerator for a few minutes and it will pop off. You ever done that?
Yeah, I'm not putting engineering resin where I keep my food.
Yeah, I know.
Uncured
That's why I was
engineering
thinking about that too.
ain't happening.
Yeah.
On
I'm talking like a garage
That's
refrigerator.
nasty just to have in the room.
Yeah.
On glass, when I first got into 3D printing on glass and mirror, well, glass in particular, Creality CR10s on glue stick, if you wanted to get the print off immediately and it hadn't cooled down at 42°C when it would self-release, I'd put them in the fridge or freezer, and the changing temperature would pop them. But as far as for resin, no, I just scrape them loose. And I have had some resins that I just had to hack at them with a tapered spatula. I use I can't think of the name of the spatula right now, but anyway, I've had cases where I had to hack at the model and I couldn't get it off the surface, but usually they come right off. What's that L-shaped spatula with a red handle? A popular company for 3D printers. It's red. Let me find it. It's what I use on everything. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I bought this years ago and I use this on everything. It's paper thin. Out in the garage, I have a whole bunch of margin trowels for working with concrete and construction, but this is much thinner. And I used to use this on anything and everything. They work really well.
Oh.
He's on a different screen. Let's put him up on big screen, see if he notices.
What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this?
No, I said you're on another screen probably. You don't realize this when I make you big. So what's new? What's going on? Anything you want to talk about? How's the weather? What are you having for lunch? What are you having for supper today? How's the wife and how's your son doing?
My son's good, actually. He's we did have a bit of an accident. We've got a trampoline in the garden, and I was left alone with him for 20 minutes, and he's now scratched his entire nose. He got like when you get like a burn, like a falling over burn. He's basically got that on his nose, and it looks pretty bad actually. So that was completely, of course, my fault. So that was fine. So that's about it, really. Yeah, just cracking on with stuff. Is
a trampoline high off the ground, or is it one of those real low ones that you jump on for like exercise?
It's it's what they call a spring-free trampoline. So there's no springs in it. So it's like super, super safe. Apart from if you face plant, apparently. So you don't get like pinched in the springs or anything like that. There's no springs on it. So it's all loaded.
Super safe unless you're on there with San Prentice.
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean we haven't collided. We hasn't collided with a knee to capture the face or anything yet. So I mean, there's still time, I suppose. But it's
I know a guy years ago that dug a hole in his backyard round, kind of like what you put a swimming pool in, and he set his trampoline in it so it's perfectly flush with the surrounding ground. So when his kids played on it, you couldn't fall off the edge and break an arm because it was flush with the ground. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, as I say, we try and be safe with these things, but the inevitability does happen, especially with him being a boy. You never quite know what's going to happen next.
When my son was a teenager, a friend had given me a trampoline. I set it up in the backyard. Him and two or three of his friends all got on it at once, and they broke it immediately. Too much weight on it.
So when I was a kid growing up, we had a swimming pool, and it had a walkway around it about 8 foot wide, and then there was a 6 foot security fence around that. And my dad bought us a trampoline, and it was over in the backyard. And my dad comes home one day, and we've slid the trampoline all the way over against the pool fence, and we're got 3 or 4 of us on there bouncing one person high enough that they can go all the way over the fence and clear the concrete landing around the pool and dive into the deep end of the pool.
Oh no!
So he was not impressed. So then he went back to the shop, got the truck with the backhoe trailer, came over and dug a big hole in the backyard over on the other side and put the trampoline down in the hole. And then one night I was actually Halloween. We had got his pickup out front, and he was chasing all of us neighborhood kids. We run through the backyard. We remembered the trampoline was there. He didn't.
Oh.
And he stepped off the edge between the springs and the trampoline, face planted in it, and the next day the trampoline was gone and the hole was filled in, so we didn't have no more trampoline.
No, I thought you said he was chasing the truck, and I'm thinking, oh no, he drove through the backyard.
He was chasing us on foot.
Drove into it.
He was chasing us on foot.
Okay.
So, I now understand why my dad had very gray, thin hair, and understand why when my kids were doing stuff like that, he'd sit back and laugh and say, "You're paying for a little bit of your raising."
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, my mom always said to me, "I wish you the same kid as you were."
Yep.
I said, "Damn, that's gonna be heavenly."
So, Kenny, when you're not in your hobby room out back that you had built, you got the air running out there all the time to maintain a certain temperature?
Yep.
Okay.
The mini split, yes.
All right.
And so far, it's doing fine. I check the filter all the time. I'll just pop up in the in the inside part because got a little filter you can pop out to clean. Yeah, it's doing fine.
I've been watching a bunch of videos on them.
KVP spools do not fit bamboo AMS.
A lot of spools don't fit the AMS.
Yeah, they're too large diameter.
Yeah, I print that mod, but I've never used it, and I don't know if there's been other versions come out since I printed that a couple months ago.
Yeah, I had something I needed to print. I needed this color gray, so I grabbed a spool of KVP that I had and threw in there and slammed the lid shut. And yeah, you can't even close the lid; the spool's too large. So,
well,
I'll just print it on the K1.
Cool.
And I hate using the back spool holder.
Yeah,
I took mine off.
Mm-hmm. I think I put mine on there when I built it and left it there. I don't know if I ever took it off, but I don't use it. But if you ever want to print TPU, you'd have to use it.
Well, you can just use one of those little, I forget what you call them.
Portable stand.
Yeah.
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 Well, you can print. I printed Shore 90 TPU through my AMS. You just have to lie to it and tell it it's not TPU.
Okay.
But like Polymaker's 95A and their 95A high flow, no problem going through the AMS on mine. You just can't tell it that it's actually TPU.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Is TPU even an option in the slicer? I don't know. Is it listed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's listed, but you just use a PLA profile and just pull up a PLA profile and adjust it for your TPU, which actually the 95A that from Polymaker, the high flow and the regular, you can more or less print it at standard PLA settings, just bump the temperature up a little bit and it's printed fine for me. So
okay,
because this
I haven't printed TPU in a couple of years since I've done those small droids, but you want the fan
right
turned.
here's 95A high flow that came off the bamboo, and that was printed through the AMS, so it's no problem.
You leave the fans turned off on TPU, don't you?
I do, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't printed with it in a couple of years when I done those egg bots and stuff with Sam and Tripod and DeWitt.
Yeah, now I have a printer over in the other room that I custom built that I use for printing the rubber, the Shore 60A, but that's a whole different animal all on its own.
Yeah, I got some Pry line and I forget the other brand. I got a couple different brands, TPU.
Look, Sam is doing his best Justin impression. He just needs to pull his britches down a little bit and show his crack and eat. There we go.
Don't moon us. Otherwise, we have 2 moons in the sky tonight.
Show his plumber's crack and eat something and work on a printer the entire time you're on the street.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not fiddling with a Voron or myself, so I can't be Justin.
That Voron of his requires more fiddling than any Voron I've ever seen.
Oh my god. He's always at it though. He doesn't stop. That's his life. Which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I only have one Voron and it's a V0 and I don't fiddle with it. I just print shit with it and it works fine. But
so Sam, if you never had to print no more, well, you can do it on a bamboo, I guess. You can only have one printer and you got to get rid of all the rest. You can only keep one printer. Which one would it be? One printer.
Creality K1 Max.
Think so?
Right now.
Well, yeah, that's the one you're currently promoting and pushing, so I guess that has to be the right answer.
Yeah, baby. Woo! Yeah. You know it. You know it.
Is Crowdy listening?
Yeah. Probably.
I got people messaging me all the time. Whenever I do a video, they'll PM me and they'll say, "Hey, what do you really think about such and such?" And I set up my video. I told the truth as I see it. So,
yeah. So, you know, it's an interesting question, and in the video that I've just put out, it's very much about, for me right now, it's about, I think, fast 3D printing and cloud printing. That's kind of what's exciting for me. The color stuff is pretty exciting as well. So being able to print in multi-materials or whatever, that's kind of cool. But the way Bamboo did it, and maybe the way the Prusa XL does it, so separate nozzles, not a lot of wastage, etc., etc. So, you know, I think there's lots of ways to do things in a kind of similar kind of way and get the result that you want in the end. But for quick Core XYs out of the box, literally unpack it, plug it in. The Creality K1 Max is really, really good for the size. So the K1, so I'd have a X1 Carbon all day long over the K1, just because it's a better printer. But the Max has that edge. And again, it's got LiDAR, it's got artificial intelligence for the camera. If I was to drop something into the in on the build plate, like a pair of pliers or something, if the AI is switched on, it'll detect that it's there and it'll stop the print. So, like, I don't know, there's just a load of kind of real smarts around stuff at the minute. And the more, I think the smarter the printer, the dumber the user. That's what I'm going with.
The 3D Chameleon would be the perfect thing to hook up on the K1 Max for multicolor. And I'm surprised that China hasn't already copied Bill and made their own version of that, unless they don't know how it works.
Well, I got an email from Bill today. It's coming out, and it will be on the P1P, and it'll be on the Max for Smurf, the Retro Festival Smurf. So that's happening. That's already something that I've got in the works at the minute. He's got the code and everything all worked out. So yeah, so next week I think he's away, and then I think the week after that is he's sending me the Chameleon, and hopefully I'll get that done before I head on out to China.
Okay.
So,
A long time ago, when I was watching our videos before I knew you guys, and I was watching the Nerd. If we know who, 3D Nerd. I think it was called the Picasso or the Palette.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, I don't see anybody really talking about that anymore. What?
It's still around. It's just incredibly expensive.
Yeah, I've seen that. It was
And I
really.
think
You're locked into their slicer. You can't slice it with anything else. You have to use their slicer. And I have one. Somewhere around here, there's one. I played with it for about an hour and put it back in the box and put it away. You have to use their slicer. The number one problem is that you're locked into using their slicer, and then just the cost.
Does anybody try to jailbreak it?
No, I don't know if anybody has or not, but it was sent to me by one of their retailers to try out, and I told them what I thought of it and asked them if they wanted me to send it back, and they said no, just donate it or throw it away, because they weren't even they weren't even going to sell them because they're just too expensive and yeah. So.
Interesting concept, though.
Now they have their own printer as well. Now they have a palette printer, but that thing is ridiculously expensive.
Well, that tells me it's made in America.
Yeah. Well, that could very well be, but I know they have their own printer. But like I say, I played around with the I think it was the Palette 2 Pro or whatever it was. I'd have to find it. It's stuffed in a cubby hole here somewhere. But wasn't impressed with the slicer for starters.
Oh man.
That dog looked up. I don't know if he heard that or not.
Ow. Ow.
That's Clyde.
Got Vince dropping back in. Hello, Vincent.
Hi.
You miss us? Vince?
Doing a test print.
All right. You missing us?
Yeah, man.
I know.
No, I mean, I was listening all the whole time, but I had to focus on the printer, and I was with my back to the camera, so I turned it off.
Yeah. We could have put a sticker on your back and say something like, please kick here,
Yeah, so I switched out the Bowden tube, the couplers, everything. And so, we'll see.
Yeah, get rid of the PTFE. You'll be fine. That's all that it could be. If it's not the coupler to PTFE, those are your only two choices.
Yeah, that's the other thing I switched out now.
Okay.
Couplers, I switched it out because it's very hard to press this one. So this one is done. I was
Sometimes
lucky
they
I
got
had
metal
some.
teeth. Sometimes they got plastic teeth in them.
I was lucky I had some spare parts laying around.
Currently got 33 people watching. We got 17 on Twitch and 16 on YouTube. Thank you, everybody's watching. Please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it.
There.
Thank you.
There, I gave you a thumbs up there. Let's go over here. And
I say that in a lot of live streams I'm watching, and then the minute I say it, people put a thumbs up in chat, and I meant down below. Click the button.
You know what you meant.
So, yeah, Joe Telling, I emailed him also if he had time to pop in today. He hasn't been on here in about a year. Let's see. What have we got there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, man.
That is my very first 3D
Wizard?
print.
Little wizard?
It is a frog wizard.
Oh, okay.
Remember years ago the frog, and it was wizard. It was all kinds of different stuff on Thingiverse. The frog. I mean, all kinds of different frog themes. Anyways, my very first print. Do you have yours? I mean this to anybody.
Here's some pretty things here.
Is that your very first? Ooh.
Yeah.
Talking about me. Talking about me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you saying that's your first print?
So these were kind of interesting. So this is a cute unicorn. I had to think about what it was called then. And this is the rocket. So it's a multi-color.
It's a rocket.
So I printed. I feel like Liam right now. It's pretty cool, and this is using Solval filament. Anyway, I printed these, and I was like, my son came in the room, and he was looking, and he keeps going up to the printer and going, ooh. So I'm like, you can have it when it's finished. So he comes back in. I give him this. He goes in and he sees his mum. His mum is immediately like, that is really dangerous. And
that's what I was going to say when I seen it. Yeah.
So I said, don't worry, I'll print it as something else. She then said, that's really dangerous. So I can't win. So I thought, and what's being printed now, it's one of those retractable flick out swords.
Sword, yeah.
Doing it at like 140%. So it's a samurai sword that you flick out. So I thought, well, at least it won't be sharp.
Yeah.
But these are cool.
Tip orange and you'll be fine.
These I will say, I think these are really cool. I think they're good prints. This is a low poly version, so that you're supposed to be able to see, the squares and stuff inside of that. That's how it's supposed to be.
That is pretty cool.
Well,
that turned out awesome with that filament.
It'd ruin the tip, but just take your cutters and cut the tip flat, and that'd make it kid friendly. Get rid of that point. Cut it down a little bit.
I could just get a piece of something and just whack it on top, I suppose. But he's got to learn. That's what I say.
That rubber stuff.
Yeah, he's got to learn.
Yeah, when we were all kids,
plate up to 120 and shove it down on there and smash it flat.
All the things we played with as kids, nowadays, a lot of parents are like, oh no, don't touch it, you'll get hurt. But they don't remember what they did when they were kids. So,
oh man,
my dad's theory on that was he won't try that another time.
Exactly.
That's it. As he's only got one eye.
What are you drinking, Sam?
Well, I was due to go out, and now I'm not. So I'm sat with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
how far apart do you Sam and Matt? How far apart are you guys?
Oh, far enough for it to be legal. I don't know. Where are you, Matt? Where do you live, Matt?
Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent. I went there once.
Sam, didn't I see you in an interview the other day on YouTube? Some girl?
Maybe.
Liz, probably.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. I'm just sending a very quick message. Hang on. Where are you?
Anybody in chat? Do you have any questions you want to ask anybody on screen, or you having problems with anything you need some advice on? That's hobby related.
Anything about lithophane?
Yep, Matt's done probably a couple hundred lithophanes. He knows all about lithophanes. Anything to do with Luban, Matt has done it. And like I say, the only thing I've been working on for 3 or 4 days now is working on slowly painting this model. Once I get it done, I'll put it up on Etsy.
I'm
I've
out of
sold three.
filament,
I
so-
sold 3 of them in the last couple of years, and I've got 2 more here that I resin printed. I don't know, like 6 months ago. I just have to get the painting done. It's about 80% done. I got a lot more work to do to it. Then I'll put up on my Etsy store.
Do you know what
And
your
here's-
man hours on that type of project is?
What's that?
Your man hours.
I don't know. I don't keep track. Everything's resin printed. The chair is printed in one piece on, I believe, my Anycubic Proton Mono Wax. The base is one piece, and then Dr. Doom himself is printed out in pieces. You can glue it all together.
Sam.
Those you mean?
Wow.
Guy the Jedi says, Matt, where can we get the Koopa shells?
Yeah, I think he means those guys.
Stoke on
When are
Trent.
we going to motorize one of those, Matt? And we're going to do
Yeah.
it with the miniature set of these little wheels right here, so that they can go all different directions. And so we need to motorize one of them little Koopas.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Put these what does Sam call these? Mechanism wheels?
Mechanism
Mechanicum?
wheels. Yep.
Anyway,
All right, Scott, when you keep showing that thing, I got a question. Has anybody tried anything with 3D and the old Cox type motors? You know,
I
like
thought it was going to be a
gas-
chrome-related question then for some reason. I don't know why.
The gas-powered Cox motor?
Yeah.
not
Gas-powered's kind
Or
of...
you think that'd be too much torque and the plastic would just shatter?
no,
Hold on.
no. I don't think it'd be too much torque. I may or may not have a 3D printed top fuel dragster with a jet cat turbine engine on it.
Guy the Jedi.
it's-
This
it's,
is my own STL
um,
file what I made, and it's
I,
not
I
available
have a problem with
for
brakes.
sharing. Maybe in a year's time or so. I'm
Oh,
not
Dusty
sure yet,
Knuckles.
because I do want to sell them and my turtles. So and also give them away.
Got a question for Sam. You touched in a live stream the other day about something that you may or may not be part of building that's large enough, may or may not be big enough for a person. If that ever comes to be, make sure Jim the Edutech is the last one to try it so he doesn't break it for everybody else.
He'd be too fat, to be honest. he his hair
no.
weighs like 10 stone. It's insane.
Jedi, you can find a similar version on printables. Put in Mario Turtle. You should find it.
Okay.
But it's very big. So
To scale it down.
you probably have to scale it down and modify it if you want to do a keyring, what I do. So,
Yeah, I printed out from Disney. Somebody posted years ago when I first got into 3D printing, the Nautilus 2001, the submarine, and I printed that on a 3D printer years ago. And I never completely finished it. I'll show you in a minute, but it was like 1,000% in a slicer, and I had to scale it way down to print it. And I think it was on Thingiverse, and I never finished it. Like that's Gary, you know. If you ever watched me for any amount of time, you know I never finish anything I start.
I have the same model.
Here's a Nautilus that I printed years ago. This is
I
3D
didn't
printed.
even see that last week.
Yeah, it sits up on top of the filament. I started to paint it, and then I kind of gave up on it. But this is a Thingiverse file. It was printed in 3 pieces on a CR10 years ago, but I never did finish it. It looks like a movie prop. I mean, it's kind of rustic looking, and if I ever finish it, it looks kind of rustic, like a movie prop is what it looks like. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of like the Disneyland of 3D. I'd have to make 3 trips over there to see everything.
Yeah, all the stuff that's on my shelves, I put most of that in boxes in another room, and I kind of rotate stuff occasionally because Kenny came up about a week ago and visited, and I took a picture of him here so I could prove that he was here. And yeah, pretty cool. I got a lot of it's like wow, stuff everywhere.
Also, what I'm gonna do out of these ones, I'm gonna hollow them out and I'm gonna make them larger, and I'm gonna make like little helmets out of them. And I'm probably gonna release the files for that. and it's called.
There's
what's
Kenny.
What's the guy's name again?
Awesome looking guy.
Yeah, he's a Greek god. Hermes. Hermes helmet, I will call it. Yeah.
That's your own model, then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
SL?
I designed this in 3D Builder.
You look at one online, like with a picture of a person you're
You
modding, and you make something that looks similar to it.
You did that in 3D Builder? Wow.
Here's the biggest model I've ever done that I can think of. That was for my son like 3 years ago. It's a great big spawn. Most of it's FDM. Very little is done in resin.
I did notice one thing on one of your models. I don't know how to ask this, and I hope I can get it out right. It looked like you printed this model on a filament printer, and looked like it was put together in sections.
Yeah.
What kind of program did you use to do that?
Luban. Luban to cut. I used Luban3D.com. It's basically, I can show it to you. Hold on.
And it will section it out so you can build big stuff.
Or you can you can download a free version of NetFab, and you can use a cut feature in NetFab to cut things. I use that all the time. I download the free version of NetFab, and I'll go in and cut. I think a lot of slicers, maybe Prusa, guys, help me out here. Aren't there slicers we can cut your models in now too?
Most all the slicers
you can do that in Bedwood Studio.
But then you don't have the nice thing about Luban is it
puts keys in.
It puts keys in so that everything goes back together correctly. If you just go cutting it up in the slicer, you're gluing flat edges to flat edges with no keys.
And you might misalign it and mess it up.
Hold on.
Well, guys, I got to jump out of here and go take the dogs out for a walk and cook some dinner and go back to assembling mechanism wheels.
Well, thank you very much for stopping in, Scott. It was great seeing you.
And read through all the messages that Sam's sitting there sending me that he's afraid to tell me publicly.
Wow, that's that's something.
Has anybody worked with a 0.8 nozzle here? Yeah, there's a lot of settings to tweak when you go over anything over 0.4.
I run my FL Sun Super Racers running a 0.8 nozzle, so
they're getting a lot of stringing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that could be settings. That could be filament not being dry.
Retraction, heat.
Yep.
There you go.
Wow, that looks just like you, Matt.
Yeah, adipose.
Nelson, just change one setting at a time. Do a test print like a cube or something. Oh, it's a 6.6. Change one thing at a time. Do a test. That didn't work. Try something else. But don't do multiple things. That way you won't know what solved the problem. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, been there, done that myself, Jerry, where I changed 15 things and it got worse, but I didn't know which one of those 15 things made it worse.
It's still hollowing out.
Everything I changed.
Not finish. Pop open. That should be hollow. And then you go to cut.
My browser kicked me out.
Millimeter. So here you can do planar cut or radial. I mean,
Was that me that blinked out? I've seen everybody blink out on my side.
No, we're all good.
Almost my internet is messing up.
There you go. There's your modular cut right there.
Yeah, modular cut. You can have this item as big as you want, literally. Put it into Luban. It can be, let's say, 2 meters tall. You put it in Luban, and it will give you little boxes what you can print out and then stick together like a puzzle.
Luban. Luban?
Yeah, yes. Right here it is. Hold on.
Does Cura have a
Here you go.
Predetermined profile for a 0.6 nozzle.
3D.com.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I got to go.
Thank
Dogs
you.
are-
Have an awesome day. Thank you for
Don't
stopping
do
by.
anything I wouldn't do.
I got one
Have fun
back
with your
here that
will.
says that it's time to go out.
Oh.
She's,
Is that an Australian healer?
Don't.
Australian cattle dog, yes, blue healer. That's
One-eyed blue, one-eyed brown.
No, she's got both brown eyes,
Cool.
All right.
but she's got some really cool coloring because she's blue down the center of her back. If you look there, but then she's red on her sides.
They kind of remind me of dingoes in Australia.
They are a descendant of dingoes, actually. That is they are a direct descendant of dingoes. So, but she's back there telling me it's time to go out. So,
Thank you. Have a great day.
you bet. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Sam. I'm sure we'll talk at 2:00 in the morning again sometime this week.
If you feel lonely, you know where I am.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
Sam, how come you don't have a picture of Scott in your pocket with the rest of the guys?
I haven't
Well-
reached that level on Twitter yet. That's,
I have a
Okay.
tattoo, actually. I can't show it to you. It's in an intimate place.
see you guys.
See you
See ya.
later. Any ball bag can look like Scott. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Bless him. Never mind. Yeah, Nelson, I would try with your retraction first. Maybe weight that up to about 1.6 mil.
Whose phone is that?
When are you going to be on live again, Sam? Tomorrow, the next day? Because
No, it won't be tomorrow. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Like the problem with lives is that I can't get any of the sponsorship stuff in. So, you know, it becomes quite difficult. Nelson, I would suggest you use Creality Slicer and just import their stuff, and then just see how you get on. And then, if you want to then move on, then maybe look at Orca Slicer.
yeah,
think
Orca is a modified version of Bamboo Slicer, which is on Awesome Slicer.
Yeah, I like bamboo.
I think I got every slicer on my computer ever made, but I only use certain ones for certain machines. And way back in the day, I paid $150 for a simplified 3D, which is still on my computer, but I don't usually use it much. What do we got going on, Vincent?
That was a project of a cousin of mine. He completely screwed it up. He tightened the belt so much that the Z is completely bent like this.
Wow.
So I'm gonna take it apart, take one of the Z's off and bring it back to the old configuration. Because he completely destroyed the machine. Had a couple of spare boards laying around, and this is basically me learning stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of what's it called again? Big 3-tech boards laying around. So, and I still got all the original parts. So I'm trying to fix it. And he did one of those conversions, switched 24-volt fans to a 12-volt fan, and put the motherboard without any bolts, just straight in the case, so it was rattling and short-circuited.
Yeah.
So it's basically a little project that I'm trying to fix.
What the freak?
What the hell was that? What was that?
I remember the first time I fired up my bamboo, it's like, what the hell?
A friend of mine got a bamboo. and he's got nothing but problems.
Is his name Liam?
No,
Okay.
it's a Dutch guy in the Netherlands. So he got nothing but problems, and he tried to reach Bamboo, and Bamboo is basically telling him, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with the machine. There's nothing wrong with the machine." And the machine
Ladies
is
and
basically
gentlemen,
not
we got
working.
Sergio dropping in. Sergio, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Mr.
Gary.
Air Conditioning Man himself. And everybody's having heat problems around the world, and here's a man that comes out your house and makes it all better for you.
Oh, yeah. Was doing that earlier today. Let's do a giveaway. Let's give away a couple of two. Well, I'll leave it up to Sam. Sam, $50 up in the air. Do we do two $25 gift cards for Amazon or one $50?
What? Yeah, whatever you want.
Do we do two $25 or one $50 Amazon gift card?
How many people are watching?
I don't know. Jerry?
Let me look here. 32 total between two platforms.
Is it financially doable?
17 on YouTube and 15 on Twitch. Wow, thank you, Sergio. Sergio is feeling generous today. He must have won some money on a lottery or something. Scratch card.
We had a good week. With this heat, you can imagine. So what do you say, Sam? 150 or 225?
I said 150.
Okay.
I'd say 225. That way you get two winners.
How about let's run it out to 300, 150, 150.
No, he said 50, not 150. It's up to you, Sergio.
You decide. Go for it. Whatever you want to do.
Two $25 gift cards. What region and how do the people pay?
Well, it's going to be digital. As soon as they send their email, I'm going to send it to them. So if it works wherever, then wherever it works.
Yeah,
instantly. It's
How do we
digital.
win this? How do we win this? I'm in 17. Why does everyone type in 17?
Okay, while we're figuring this out, the word to enter is going to be hashtag Sergio, SCRGIO.
Oh man,
Hashtag Sergio.
There you go.
Okay. Got to be into winning this.
And whoever the winner is, let them send you the email address. You put it in the private chat, and I will send it right away.
Okay. So what do you want to do? 225s or 150?
Whatever. It's the same amount for me, no matter what.
Well, you can do more with 50 than 25. Let's just say do one giveaway, $50 to one person.
Oh, look, Justin's sitting there watching on the side, tinkering around with his Voron. God bless him.
Justin
All hail
got on
Sergio,
the
the god of
stream late
cold.
the other night.
Hey, guys, saying two winners. Wow, we've got 19 entries so far.
There you go.
So what are we doing? One or two? Two 25s or 150?
Well, Sam said 150, so
Only if I win.
Okay, 19 entries. Hashtag Sergio in chat, SERGIO. He's going to give away one $50 gift card to one lucky person anywhere in the world. And we have Justin. Justin is popping in right now. Brencore 3D. Or Breakcore 3D.
Breakcore. You get that wrong every time,
I
Jerry.
always put an N in it. That's why.
I don't know why.
what's up, Justin?
Welcome in.
Yeah.
You made me. I waited for you and waited for you and waited for you. Finally, I had to go to bed.
I started at 7 p.m., so I don't know.
No, that's my time. My time.
Hey, Justin. What's going on, bud?
Anybody on screen can enter this also, except for Sergio. Anybody on screen can enter.
No,
I won't
Sergio
enter.
should enter too, because if he wins, it doubles. Yeah.
No,
And if I win it, he 10 times it.
Oh no.
I won't enter because I'm running a stream.
Well, you can enter. Why not?
If Jerry wins, it's rigged, so that's easy enough.
Okay,
Let Jerry
here,
in, man.
I'll enter. No, there's no way to rig StreamYard.
Yeah,
There, I entered.
Right.
there you go.
Okay, we got 23 entries. Anybody else want to enter? Righty. We got Josh popping in, everybody. Hello, Josh.
Hey.
How's it going today?
Eh,
Glad you can make it.
Everybody smells money.
Hey, Josh, can you hear us?
Yep. Sorry. I'm kind of.
Sergio just popped in, and he's done very well this week in his air conditioning business, and he's giving away one $50 gift card to anybody in the world. We're going to do a drawing here in a minute. If you'd like to get in on it, do hashtag Sergio in chat. Type in hashtag Sergio, SERGIO. Do a spin for Sergio to come fix my AC.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live England. Can you come tomorrow, like 8, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, even if I did leave now, I wouldn't get there at 9 o'clock. Trust me.
Hey, you said 9 o'clock or it will be free.
There you go.
Yeah, no.
Like
No,
30
there's-
minutes of like 30
there's a
minutes
company.
pizza, like.
There's a company out here who guarantees to be there in 1 hour, or it's free. And I'm like, yeah, right. There's no way.
Okay, Sergio, you do the countdown, and I'll hit draw.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Rigged.
Go.
I mean, what?
Big money, big money, big money.
Big
money, big money.
Apprentice.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
Are you in chat?
That-
Robert
that's
Lowe, I'm
close.
sure you're here. Say something, Robert.
That close. I was that
Congrats.
close.
Robert, are you in chat?
Kidfire, yeah, we just strap him on one of the rockets and send him over. Should be here in half an hour or less.
he's there. All right, you got to send your email address to Jerry, and he's going to put it in the private chat. I'm going to copy it right over and send you this ASAP right now.
Yeah, there's my email in chat there, Robert. Congratulations.
Copy paste so that there's no errors, because that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you very much, Sergio. That was awesome of you.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you,
man.
Jojo.
I had to
Very
go
nice.
drop off my wife because she was going to a party, and I didn't want to go because as you probably can remember, the last maybe 6 Saturdays I've been going to birthday parties, so I'm a little worn out.
Going to a party. So Sergio, how many years do you think you can get away without a tune-up?
What was that?
How many years on your AC can you get away without a tune-up? I don't like home warranties.
Well, here's the thing.
You got a split unit or on the roof?
Rough.
It's not so much a tune-up as it is maintenance. Maintenance is the most important thing. What you if you have a lot of trees in your area and you got a lot of pollen and stuff, you know, your air conditioner sucks that stuff in. Okay, it gets in the coil, makes the coil dirty, and what happens is your unit has to work that much harder to give you, and you start losing efficiency. The dirtier it gets, the more you lose efficiency. Yeah, it should be checked to make sure. First of all, refrigerant should never come out of your system. If you need refrigerant, you have a problem.
You got a leak.
Okay? Yeah, there's a leak somewhere. Definitely. Because if there's no leak, you should never need refrigerant. But the most important thing is that maintenance, man. You'd be surprised how that dirty condenser will kill a capacitor.
It depends, like just like on a refrigerator, when you pull
Yeah.
it back from the wall and it gets all dusty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't maintain itself. Jeez.
I've got your information, Robert. Sergio, it's in private chat.
All right, I got it. I'm going to send it right now.
It showed up in my spam folder. I kept hitting refresh and it was in my spam folder. Want a cracker, doggy?
Please. Wait a minute. It says doesn't like that email address. You can add up to no.
Let me
Did
confirm it.
enter an email address. There it goes. Okay. Okay, now and add to cart.
Hello, Amanda.
I was making sure I wasn't making a mistake and making it for 500.
He's got the top matrix.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like you're going back and forth.
That's mad.
I'm sorry, Nikita. Said let me give you a cracker, and then I ate it. There you go. That wasn't very nice to Daddy, was it?
Look at Justin pretending that he has a working printer.
Someone pick Sam, would you?
Oh, God. All those hopes and dreams of having a good printer there. Justin's there just looking at him going up in smoke.
It's better than reality.
No.
Yep.
No.
Hey, Josh, what's new? What have you been up to?
Okay.
Bunch
Should
of
get that
different
any
stuff.
second.
Just I guess mainly trying to get my life in order. Everything has been a little chaotic. Some family things that are going on, and just trying to get through that. But Rob actually just sent me a care package of, oh my God, a bunch of NES games and stuff that I'm just like, I can't contain my excitement. But we've been working on this project for Earth. I don't know if people are familiar with like Automata and gallery shooters, but I grew up going to Hamden Beach where they had a gallery range, like kind of like a light sensor. And so the goal is to get a bunch of these different speakers and trigger arrays that Rob has made me and put them into the automatas that automate.
That's cool.
And so I'm going to have a bunch of those set up at Earth of varying sizes with the boards and everything set up for a motor and trigger and a target. So
Really nice.
Just have some light guns and some people can be popping these off throughout the event and just having some fun doing that. So
It's very nice. You're talking about Rob Mink?
yes, sir. Baby Belt.
Okay, he was on here a little bit ago, and then he dropped off.
Yeah, he's busy too. He's got a lot going on himself. I really admire him and glad to be working with him. And just this has been a really fun project that we've been mulling through. He's been doing the majority of the work. I'm just stoked that he thinks it's as fun as I think it is, and that he's working with me. So,
Robert Lowe, when you get that, please let us know that you received it.
Yeah, I just sent him a message.
Okay.
On the chat.
Oh, I see it there. All right.
Yeah, see if he gets it.
Yeah, whenever I do giveaways on film, and I always try to confirm the next weekend the person got it, because once in a while my rep, when I send it to her on Sunday, she might forget about it or something happens, and then it doesn't go out, and then a week later I'm like, oh no, they never got it because they made a goof. People, we're human. People make mistakes sometimes.
Isn't it amazing? Now you can send gift cards digitally. I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to mail it. That's pretty neat.
you mail it, it may not show up. GameStop for my son, I ordered some GameStop gift cards for my grandson, and it never came in the mail.
Wow.
I had one of my community members just say, make a wish list, and I made it, and they bought a bunch of stuff that they needed for some of the R&D that I've been working on. And I thought that was amazing, where, you know, some people can't give you cash donation or through whatever else means that you might need or think that you can use through, but it might be sitting on a credit card or a bunch of Amazon credits that they don't want, or I don't know, but I think it's cool. Things to consider.
What the hell?
Sam is deep in thought.
No, I got some PayPal money. I got to see where it came from.
Huh?
I got some donations or something. Let me see where this came from.
Sam's working on getting more printers.
Oh, I bought my third AMS. I ordered it.
Cool.
So Sam, what's the verdict? Is we getting those printers? Should we go along with the Creality printers?
I like the Max. Really like the Max. K1, you know, I'd go X1 Carbon over the K1. That's my thought on it. But the Max is, I think there's a lot to play with there. I honestly think there is. I think September rolls around, the open source stuff comes out, we get into Clipper, and then we can start playing around with stuff and really kind of working out how they've done it and maybe how it should have been done. I think there's some very clever people out there in the community and I think they're going to turn this thing into an absolute beast. I think that I honestly believe that they're going to be quite hard to get hold of. I think they're not going to be able to manufacture them quick enough because people, once the community get involved with it and they play around with it, I think it's going to be an absolute monster.
Now, does it have an AMS unit similar to the Bamboo or anything like that?
Nope, nothing like that. But then does the Voron? Then does, you know? I said it's really only Bamboo and the Prusa XL. And if you've got an MMU or whatever, you know, that's really kind of doing that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's only a limited. I don't necessarily feel that, you know, up until that came out, I never did any more than single color printing because I normally paint everything. So, I think there's a call for it. But then you've got Chameleon, you've got a palette, you've got a bunch of things that you could use on it. So I've got the Chameleon coming out for the Max. Bill sent me that one out. I've also got one coming out.
What's the price range on that?
$200.
Or the Creality?
$899, or there's like $100 or a $50 voucher at the minute as well.
What's the Chameleon? I think like $250, right? What I paid
I think 200, $250. I think it was. So you know, and again, that doesn't mess.
Chameleon's great. You can get it working.
It doesn't mess with the warranty or anything. Oh yeah, Justin loves his Chameleon, right?
Yeah, it hasn't worked since I got it at Merck.
Sorry, Joe.
Why? Were you having trouble with software or what?
Hardware.
He can't get it to work because he just runs Vorons.
There's a Prusa right back there.
Is it on?
Clone Prusa probably.
Nope.
Here, let's visit Justin. We haven't had him on the big screen yet.
No clones.
Is it really?
I had the Chameleon, and I had it working on my
I hear all your Vorons are clones.
Look at him messing around with it.
I see a belt printer.
Don't you just push a button and it prints? What's up with that?
I like his doors, man.
I actually like this door better. It's a one-piece store.
Oh man, my rat rig. I heat my panels. My rat rig.
Yeah.
Hey,
They come off completely.
Jerry, Rob.
And after 7 to side.
I see him grabbing those motors, having to level it up properly because it
Oh,
doesn't. level.
Tripod, how you doing today?
Hey.
Hang on a minute. Whoa, is that Tripod from the future?
How many K1s have you had already?
The Terminator has arrived.
I got one K1 that broke, and then they replaced it, and then they repaired it. So I've got 3 now. They're glorious.
So did you hear back from them? You know, maybe how it faulted out and broke. I always enjoy knowing if a company is actually paying attention to this stuff, and then
yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the extruder. Okay. So what was happening a lot of the time? What was happening at the time, and what is still happening, and how they've managed to try and repair it is that basically they ask you to take the lid off. Okay. A lot of companies that are printing with PLA, if you get more than 30 degrees inside of the chamber, they tell you to basically sort of take the top off. So the stepper motor is getting so hot, and the heat transfer through the metal plates into here is basically heating up all the gearing. And what was happening, it was clogging inside of the gearing. So as the filament was being fed in, again, it swelled, and then it basically started clogging. So that was that point. And then the other point was on the hot end. And basically they made this part inside of here really, really super thin. And if it knocked onto the bed or anything like that, potentially it could break. So they've basically now, this is a version 1. They've basically now increased the density of this metal part. So yeah, it shouldn't break. And they've given you spares in there as well.
Can we see the bottom of that?
Yeah. What do you want to see?
The other side, the other end. So that's just a regular standard nozzle?
No, it's a longer nozzle. I don't think it's proprietary. You can use a CHT
Jim
nozzle.
likes long nozzles.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you.
The other
So
man,
now- I've seen some weird, probably not weird or going to be weird, but I'm seeing, longer nozzles that are like, or throats, I guess, 2-3 inches long. Is that more to get faster flow rates?
Yep. That's the chase to higher flow.
And these things are mad quick to heat up as well. Like literally 20 seconds and you're at 200 degrees. It's mad, absolute madness. So as I say, I think they're heading in the right direction. I think this, like I said before, I think this open source stuff is going to do a lot for the community, and I think it's going to get Creality back in the zone. I think, but again, Bamboo, if they drop to 300 printer tomorrow, which you never know what's going to happen with those guys. They're so on it. So I
want to talk about this. So now, what are they going to go after? Prusa minis? Are we I'm convinced they might drop a $200 printer, but people are laughing at me. So
no, I think you're right. I think what you'll find is I think they're going to drop 2 around Christmas. I think they will do exactly what they did with the P1P, is they hedged their bets of what they sold with the Bamboo X1 Carbon, and they will produce and they will ship to the various ports, and you'll end up getting them before Christmas. That's my theory. I think you'll see 2 printers. I think you'll see a larger printer, which will probably be around about the 300 to 320 range. And I think you're going to see a smaller one as well.
Question. I've seen, I think even Creality go back to Kickstart when they're already an established company. Do you think Bamboo would ever do that again?
Nah. They've got the financial backing now. So, they've got millions. They've got a ton of money.
That video that they put out of just what they did for all their R&D, can't get it out of my mouth. That's insane. They had
I remember that
of just doing R&D where they just, I don't know. I think they were doing 200 to 300 units at a time, and they had 10 revisions. It was insane. It was great to see.
It is. And again, it's a lot of this. This is the crazy. This is the crazy thing. You have some companies like Creality. They just ship a bunch of machines out and then go, well, let's just see who gets it right and who gets it wrong. And then the feedback is, well, this is dreadful and I hate this and this is wrong. And again, we're not beta testers. We shouldn't be treated like beta testers. So Bamboo did it right.
How many people have one of these little easy threads?
That's cute.
The $80 Amazon printer. What happens if Bamboo comes in here and just drops a mic and has a $180 printer? A little 4x4 with what they've been doing. I think if they've actually put the time that they put into it and they want to literally dominate the industry, they will make a small little printer like that. That's cost affordable for Christmas for little Billy and Sally under the Christmas tree,
Totally. So here's the thing with that, right? Really, really simple question to answer, actually. If you look at what DJI did to the drone market, okay, specifically at the drone market, until DJI got involved, it was a free-for-all, okay? Different models, different things. Nobody really had any kind of, other than flying the things, DJI revolutionized drones, okay? So anything that you have now, anything you see on DJI, a lot of the flight maps, all that kind of stuff was built internally. Okay. So all they're going to do, and these guys are DJI engineers, so all they're going to do is they're going to take the roadmap that DJI had and they're going to apply it to 3D printing. Now, that will either wash or it won't. Luckily enough, I think there's enough people out there that like and enough people out there that hate bamboo still that, you know, the market might be still quite volatile for them. So, you know, at any minute, something could just drop and then we'll all be like, oh my God, it's the new thing. But again, what I find really interesting is the life cycle for 3D printers. How long are these things going to work for?
I mean, at this point, I think most average people, I mean,
which drone is that, Kenny?
It depends on how much work you want to put into what you've put.
It's a drone.
Put your money into.
What type? What brand?
DJI, the one he's talking about. I have a skin on it. I have a red skin, and there's my FAA number.
Nice.
I think if you're getting 2 years out of your printers mechanically and you run them 24/7, that's phenomenal. But as we all know, 3D printers, you should be able to maintenance and repair the parts that eventually wear out on you. So your printer should never technically die on you if you care to repair and replace what needs to be done on them. But
okay.
we also buy a printer that we can't do that on.
All right.
That kind of.
So, Josh, let me ask you this. Right? In the 1940s and 1950s, when televisions were being made, you'd have a thing called a TV repairman. He'd come around to your house and he would repair your TV for you. Mm-hmm. They are obsolete because we now live in a throwaway society. So stuff is built, it's made, we're consumers. And I honestly believe that eventually we're going to get over we can repair it, we can do this, we can do that. I think you're going to buy a product, you're going to use it. When it runs out, you'll get another one sent out. And, you know, I do this with my coffee machine. My coffee machine went wrong. They sent me a replacement coffee machine, okay, while they repaired my old one. And then they went, oh, it's beyond economical repair. It's still under warranty. We're going to send you a new machine. So
I very much agree with you.
That's why I hate iPhones. Gotta have the latest and greatest.
Oh, the iPhones are set up. So Best Buy, I buy Dyson vacuum every other year and a half because the battery dies out. And I don't necessarily buy it. I'm set up on a replacement plan. And so ultimately, I'm more or less paying a subscription for my vacuum cleaner just because, and I end up getting the latest and greatest whenever I bring it back because my battery's dead. And they're like, oh, sir, because you've paid what you've paid, you can go get the latest and greatest because it's you actually get $180 back. And it's insane to think that, you know, the internals of that vacuum are money and they will repurpose that and put that back in. And just like your printer, you know, if you return your printer that you bought on Amazon, that's going on a pallet. Amazon don't care enough to repair or even look at that. Somebody else on eBay now has that, and then I go buy it for $80.
Franchise kicks.
Look what happened with my when I bought a spot welder. I bought a spot welder, and on Amazon it said 16 amps for the breaker that I needed. On the back of the device it was 20 amps. So the standard breakers here are 16 amps. So message Amazon that I wanted to send the machine back, and they basically told me, "Yeah, keep it, and you will get your money back because it costs too much to send the whole machine back."
That's 3D printing in general. If you're like, "Oh, my printer is broken and I want to return it," if you're a company, you don't want that. That's going to cost way more money and headaches and time and effort.
That's why That's why most companies will give you a credit. And then they'll, instead of going back to Amazon, they'll have it redirected as one of us or somebody else to work on it, so they don't have to try to pay to have it disposed of because they don't want it back in China. They're not going to ship them back to China.
Be right back.
Or you go to a trade show, and most trade shows don't want to take everything back on the plane, or they can't, so they give away their stuff at the trade show, or they reduce the price.
That's how I treated Earth last year. I loaded up my car with all the goodies I bought at Earth, and I was like, there's no room for anything we brought. Who wants a bunch of stuff?
That's just and the really funny thing about all this, and it's ironic, is my main job, the business that I own, is an e-waste recycling company. So I see all the stuff and how quickly something reasonably good, you know, iPhones, iPads, all that kind of crazy stuff, how something reasonably good comes in because somebody just wants to get rid of it. And that might be a, hey, can't we sell this? Can't we reuse this? Isn't there someone that's going to want this? Well, then you've got things like data security. You've got, and of course, this is all printing in general is going to the cloud. So if you're not going to have it at home, you're probably going to have it somewhere else where you can send the files to a printer, and Amazon will then deliver you the 3D printed parts that you had printed overnight. So, you know, and then there's no maintenance. Then you don't have to be messing around. You're not going to cry. You're not going to be just in there in his underpants crying because his forearm's not working.
I mean, though, you're talking though, like what you're talking, that is on par to be able to now, like, instead of buying the $200 printer that you need for a possible job that's going to take the next 2-3 months, Amazon just delivers you those parts for the same price that you would have paid for your filament, your time, and everything else.
Yep.
And you don't have the aggravation of like waking up to spaghetti.
Definitely, yeah. And again, you know, can you imagine if I was to say to you, hey, how about this solution where if you get a problem or the print fails, you don't have to pay for it because we'll take care of that. Like, that's bonkers. You know, oh, the quality isn't good enough for my print, I'm going to send it back. Oh, well, actually, it's, you know, maybe they have a recycling plant at that particular point and the materials are fully recyclable. So, you know, there's a ton of stuff there. There's a ton of stuff.
If you come up to JRT 3D and you're like, hey, print this for me, and I print something at 70% quality, and I say, well, you know, based off of my time and my efforts and my material and this and that, I need a certain pay based off of my area as well, but maybe somebody doesn't want to pay that. But Amazon, they've done a really great job at capitalizing and making things super cheap. And again, like, if they don't care about a return, that's nothing to them. Like,
that's it. That's it. Somebody just said that
going up to wherever he's flying his rockets.
That's it. Someone talking about the internals and stuff. The way that the recycling game works now is that nothing actually goes to landfill. Nothing electronic goes to landfill now. That used to be the case. They used to just bury it. And the problem with that is that anything that's electronic and the circuitry that's on those circuit boards, the problem with that is that eventually it will leach. And then the water course, basically the nasties get into the water course and then it poisons loads of different things. So what happens now is that it goes for a treatment facility like the one I run in the UK here. And the component parts that are nasty, that goes to a smelter. So there isn't really a lot of the plastics do go back out to China and they get into repurposed into cars and making into various parts of, you know, cars and whatnot. But a lot of this is down to, you know, being able to remove the gold content for things like CPUs and RAM and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I kind of see, you know, I can see some real similarities. I was into telecoms before this. So telecoms going to the cloud was something very, very kind of unusual because we had ISDN before that. And I can see all this kind of stuff happening again, cloud-based programming, the stuff that we can see where you can control your printer on a print farm, or you hire a server, right? So let's say you host your website on a server. The same thing could be said for a print farm. That'd be your printer. Someone else will load it up for you and you just press the button. It's, you know, looks like it's
such an insane. I mean, what that's so now I've tried to work with Mosaic as far as making a single seam, seamer. They had no interest or desire, and more or less they're focused on their array machine. And so now you are literally talking about what they've been spending all their time and effort, and, you know, Prusa as well, and I'm sure there's others, literally making just wall stacks that are able to just crank this stuff out.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know, as I say, there's you know, I've been doing this recycling stuff for 12 years, so, you know, I kind of know what I'm talking about from a UK standpoint. Might be different in the States. It's certainly different in you know, Uganda.
I was going to just say, can you vouch globally for where, you know, other things are going to be, like smeltered and everything else like that, you know?
Yeah, we have to be. It's a closed system, so it has to be. Everyone has to be vetted. Everybody has to be on par with stuff. There's a lot of dodgy stuff that goes on, but that's in every industry. But no, we're certainly whiter than white, so we couldn't afford to be anything other than that. So we're one of the biggest in the UK.
Germany's insane. Like,
once it gets
more recycling like Germany going on.
Sam, once it gets separated, how does it get shipped out in big giant connexes or something like that? Or how do you separate things? How do they get shipped out?
Depends what it is, Jerry, and it's such a big, vast topic. Plastics, for example, for a long, long time, since the 60s and 70s, we were mixing in with plastics bromine, which is basically a real nasty flame retardant chemical that they mix with plastic. Now, the problem with that, and certainly recycling through the 90s and into 2010, 2020, it's actually carcinogenic. So we're finding now that carpet, sofas, and a bunch of other kind of stuff that has inherent plastics that have been recycled are actually carcinogenic. So you could be sitting on your sofa, that plastic could be leaching into your skin and potentially causing cancer. So, the whole thing is that the system is so broken. Like, it's such
We're going to just die of microplastics anyway. That's literally our generation just has microplastics in us.
I need to be having a drink and having plastics in it. Exactly.
So don't go grandma.
The reality we got to live in.
I live in Vegas, and every time anything breaks on my vehicle or anything, I look at my wife and I said, because it's plastic. It's always plastic. Because it's plastic, it breaks. And it drives out in Vegas.
It's a man-made compound. I mean, most of the stuff that I get, the stuff we really like is kind of raw materials. So coppers, the steels, irons, anything like that really is part and parcel to kind of what we do. And that's kind of, we have separations for all sorts of stuff. So in regards to the smelters, again, all the stuff is kind of broken down into component parts and then it's shipped out that way. So we bulk basically. So we get rid of all the data. We've got shredding machines and all that kind of crazy stuff, data bearing, wiping and all that. So as I say, it's quite a bizarre situation. But when you see things like, 12-month-old iPads going through and you're like, why is this being thrown away? And they're like, well, because it's got data on it. So your mobile phone, you get everything from your banking details to a dating app on here. Everything is on your phone and potentially it can be recovered. So even if when you delete something, it can still be recovered. So really total disposal is kind of our game. But it's what I find resonates with me is this whole coming from the background that I've had, looking at this market in particular. And the reason we're sometimes a little bit blinkered to that is because we're in it, because we're reviewing printers, because we're building printers, because that's kind of part of our life. But if you look at it from a fresh eye standpoint, like Bamboo are doing, you might find in the end, actually, they set up a location here. And when you want to print something, you print it on their farm and they ship it out via Amazon because it's one of those markets. It's just crazy.
They're going to start to, because I worked with 2 companies now that want literally nothing to do with Amazon because of how they're treated by Amazon and expected to literally either have a spot for their returns to go or they will just be stolen from. And they have no option because they have to then pay for storage fees and everything else. And so if their reviews are tanking at all and their sales are not moving and they're getting more returns back than they are getting good promoted sales, it's pointless for them.
Absolutely. And the thing is, those reviews are probably fake anyway.
Or bot. I mean, that's the majority. Like, I get more Facebook requests. Will you review Amazon? And it's like, no, because you just need me to buy it half and you'll pay the half. And I've had people run away on that. And you've done it. You saw where people came in and just try to game you. And it's a whole industry over there for that too,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, but I find it quite fascinating. And there's Sergio. Look how happy he is.
He's holding something. I think he wanted. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to show something.
Bit of Wendy's there.
I'm trying to be proactive here when I see people want to do something.
No, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah.
Back in the 80s, I was delivering out to a business out on Lake Mead. Had to do with the government, and they had a bunch of guns that were seized over a long period of time. They're writing down serial numbers, and they're all going to be cut up and destroyed because that's how they get rid of firearms. They cut them up in many pieces with a chop saw, or at the very least, cut them in half one time. There was a giant mountain of guns on the floor. Hundreds and hundreds. You wouldn't believe how many weapons were there to be destroyed that were confiscated from the Park Service or whatever. But anyway, pretty amazing. And I know a person that got, not from that pile, but from a different one, 1930s, the old Tommy guns from the movies back in the 30s, gangsters. I know a person that got a gun that was cut up in half. It was a Tommy gun, and they welded it back together. It doesn't function, but it's an original Tommy gun from the 30s, and that was one of these guns because when they get cut up, you have companies that get hired to come in and they recycle them. They haul them off in their semis. And they take them wherever they take them, and they destroy them or melt them down. And it's a beautiful firearm, but it doesn't work anymore. And it's been welded back together and sanded down. A beautiful looking gun. It's just crazy the kind of things
wall
that get destroyed. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we had we did a project very, very recently for Warner Brothers, and they were they basically come up with some technology that was the Harry Potter wand. Okay, so the idea is that it's a like a wireless smart wand that for kids and stuff, and you program it into your phone, and then you can turn your TV on, you can turn your light off, you can do all that kind of crazy stuff.
I've
But
seen
these things had it had a box. There was a battery and a bunch of stuff in the box, and then the wand had a battery inside of it as well. So there was a problem with the licensing between Warner Brothers and the company that actually produced and made the software. So I think it was 47,000 wands had to be deboxed, the items removed, and then broken down into their component parts. So a lot of plastic there. You literally snap these things: plastic, batteries, cables, the box, cardboard and stuff.
That's the stuff that will cripple. It'll just cripple,
Yeah, absolutely.
Either that or a bunch of people will just be like, we're walking. Are you kidding?
Yep. Yeah, totally. So, and I think they paid us 15 grand to do that job. So it was it was a dedicated job.
By the way, on that thing with Amazon, and I'm not trying to sound political or anything, just something I saw the other day. Later, when we're off, check out Public Square. It's an up and coming alternative, or they're saying they're coming after Amazon. It's called Public and then SQ.
I love Amazon. So good luck.
Some people don't. Some people do.
Is it a shop like Amazon?
Because again, I don't want to mess with the rules here. I'll just say Public Square. Check it out later.
You can talk about stuff like that. Just don't talk about politics or women or things like that.
It's ran by conservatives. I'll just say that.
Okay, I get it.
Freedom of speech.
Okay.
Anyways,
what are you working on today, Sergio? What do you got going on? You got a birthday party to go to today?
Yeah, I wasn't going. I'm tired of going to birthday parties.
Wow.
You don't like your friend?
It's been every Saturday for like the past 6-7 weeks.
Wow.
My grandkids, yeah. If it was my grandkids, of course I make that. Which last week it was the younger of the two grandsons. The couple weeks before that, the week before that was a really good friend of ours, his daughter. A couple weeks before that, it was his son. A few weeks before that, it was my other grandson, and then there was a couple of other birthday parties in between. So yeah, it's too much partying.
Vincent, did you order any more PTFE?
Complain you party?
No. I was working on the what's it called again?
Gantry?
Yeah, I'm getting tired. Sorry. So I took the direct drive off, and my cousin gave all the original parts. I thought so. And this belt is too short for the original one, and the back plate has to be removed, because if I leave this one on, it will hit the power supply. So, little bit by bit, it's a project.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. Look, still running.
Okay.
It's running so far, so. I switched out the coupling system anyway, because I looked at the tube, and it was basically almost cutting the tube in half. It was gripping so hard, and I couldn't press the fitting anymore. So I switched everything out. It's a learning curve.
What you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah, you know what the thing is, you can buy that's my idea about 3D printing. You can buy an expensive machine and print for a long time nice stuff, but you will never learn the inside and out when you need to repair something. And now you can do something wrong, and it's cheap to fix. If you do it on another machine like an Ultimaker or a Bamboo, it will cost you more.
Those look much bigger on camera than they are since they were printed on the bamboo.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
lot of things on camera, I notice even when people do videos, they look
That's
a lot
pretty cool.
bigger on camera for some reason.
Hey, Matt, I meant to ask you, where did you get that Coca-Cola crate? Where'd you get that model from?
The one with the latch on it, or
The
one I made?
one that says Coca-Cola on it.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
two of them. I have this one.
Where'd they come from, though?
This
You know
one
you
comes
have-
from. This one comes from Printable, and I made this one.
Okay, so yeah, because I looked on printables, I didn't see it. So you just designed that other one?
Yeah, this one I designed.
Oh, care to share?
Yeah, I can share with you.
Where'd you get the font from? Is that from a different model and you cut it out or saved it or?
No, it's from Printables, the box. It's a free shareable. You can do whatever you want with it, sell it, commercial use.
Oh, the Coca-Cola font below the signature.
Oh, well, you write it.
Hey, Matt, I put my email on the private chat, so.
All right, all right.
No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Okay, I'll take it down. I'll probably be able to send it through Facebook Messenger too.
Either way. As you
Hey,
can
Matt,
tell, I'm a
remember? Sorry.
Coca-Cola lover.
Remember that Day of the Dead picture that I wanted you to check your hard drive for?
Oh yeah. No, I did not found it yet. I have to look on my other hard drive, but I forgot the password. I have.
Yeah, I'm not organized either. I go to my download directory and I don't have things organized. I used to a long time ago when I got files. I'd categorize it by the designer in folders, and then I kind of quit doing that, and things are just a mess. If I go to reprint something I did from way back when, it might take me a couple hours to find the file between two computers.
Would we like to see the largest fail I've had in the last few weeks?
Uh-oh.
So I was contracted for a project through Facebook for the belt printer. We saw it at Murph for a print of a custom seat for a motorcycle. 86 hours, about 2.5 kilograms. This was try number 5 because I had a power outage and didn't have that bank of printers on backup. So, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
4 pounds of material, 12 hours left.
Wow.
Yep. So, yeah, all kinds of trash. The guy still wants this, but otherwise it's trash. So, as a good friend of mine says, big projects also include big fails.
Which way was it printing? Where's the top layer?
So on the belt, this was the.
Okay.
That was the printing end.
How much longer of it? How much more of it did you need?
12 hours.
Right.
No,
Any way you
about that long.
Any way you can finish it? He could cut it, glue it, putty
He
it.
doesn't want to glue it. He wants it in one solid piece from start to finish.
I want what I want. You better do it.
Yep.
Do it.
I want it now.
Customer.
It's not a bad idea. Just
Gloop it.
Well, yeah, if it's for a customer, you don't want to piece
That's
something
what it is,
together.
man. Even if you're the customer, you still go to a store and you're like, "Yo, I'm the customer."
Yeah.
That's
I'm
how
not
it
the
is.
customer, unfortunately.
You drop your money, you want what you want, and
Yep.
if it's not what is being sold to you, you still what you want.
Yep.
Right, and chaps, I'm going to have to bounce, but nice seeing you all. Lovely to talk to you.
Take care, Sandy. You have an awesome day. We look forward to seeing you on the next live stream or video.
Thanks,
Keep
Jerry.
up the great
Appreciate it.
work. You're awesome.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hey,
See you later.
get a hold of Grant. Talk to Grant.
Well, yes. Yeah, no problem at all.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jerry. Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye. Very cool.
What
Whoa.
does Matt have on a screen?
It's a butthole. I mean, a bullet, it looks like. I forget what that is. I don't know. He's rich. It's a golden butthole. I'm not sure what that is. What is that, Matt?
It's a close-up shot photo from a nozzle.
Oh.
Okay.
I took a picture one time of something and I zoomed it in really big, really big. And my sister and her husband are over here. And I said, look at this. What is that? And they couldn't tell. And I kept slowly zooming out and zooming out. Eventually, I got out far enough. It was my big toe. I had a callus or something on my big toe. And I had zoomed in really far. And it looked like something. I don't remember what it looked like, but they had no idea until I zoomed out to see what it was.
Look in private chat. I sent you the file for this one that's on printables. So if anybody likes in chat this one, you can download, but it's not, you can't sell it or anything, this one. So it's only for personal use, this one.
Here, I'll share it right now. This is from Printables, right?
Yes, printables.
Here you go, guys. There's a link to that that Matt's talking about.
And my crate, I actually thought about, because I'm building up models, and I thought about to do maybe a Patreon, you know, like where people would come on to maybe, and then I release 5 models or 10 models, an X amount of models a month, and share what I created for the past 3 years, basically, you know. So
Tripod, did you use your code to order 2 rolls of fruit cement? Here's a question for you, Justin. Nelson wants to know, hey, Justin, which is that big printer?
Which one? This one? This one or that one?
Well, just explain what both of them are, and I'll put you on the big camera.
Printer tour time. So this is just a big old Voron 250, a 350 by 350 by 500. Long story on that one. It's getting a new bed plate because the bed plate, after 2.5 years, has decided to taco, which I can actually show you guys. Let's see. Share my screen.
And your other one's a belt printer up on the shelf, right?
Yep, the one way up on the shelf's a belt printer. So here's the bed mesh on this printer. This is a 35 by 35 bed mesh. And that thing is taco. Wow. 2.5 years. So I have a new one. It'll be here Monday, and it's same manufacturer. Just everyone's running 9mm beds now on Vorons because they don't taco as much over time. So I'm having issues to the point where I cannot print large items. I've already replaced the X extrusion kit. Verified that was perfectly flat. So. Plus, I've been wanting a new bed. Anyway, so then I've got the Trident 250 right here with a very, very nice door on it, Jerry. Love this door. So these are the standard Voron doors. You know, you can 2 doors. This is the Mandala Roseworks Annex K3 style door, which is so nice.
That is a great company.
Oh, yeah.
Roseworks.
Yeah, Mandala Roseworks. He's awesome. Wade's pretty cool.
Oh,
FL7 Super Racer in modification stages right now because I won it at Murph. And then Prusa Mini, Prusa MK3, which will be an MK4 when the upgrade kit eventually gets here. And an highly modified Ender 3 belt kit.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
All the printers.
This one was done with Polymaker filament, and yeah, just Polymaker filament. I made this with. I like.
Yeah, there's still a lot of great filament.
So you can put your cans inside. Lily. Sorry, my dog.
Sorry, guys. I'm going because I'm getting tired.
All right, Vincent, thank you. You have a nice day, and I hope you get your problems fixed on that printer and your printers.
Yeah, you got to take your time, and you know how it goes. A lot of patience.
A lot of patience. Been there.
A lot of patience. Yeah. Especially with my health problems, I cannot work on the printers every day. So.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hi,
I have
everyone.
to switch off.
Take care, sir. Thank you.
Because I have a visitor here, my niece. So I don't want that nobody knows her. You know what I mean? That's why I blank every time the camera out.
I haven't heard her in the background, so I figured she fell asleep.
No, she's a night owl, I think.
Okay.
Keep you up.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
more.
Back in a sec.
Okay.
Gotta go, I gotta go take this out of here because I got a bad habit that I start moving stuff around, then I drop it, and then I gotta come because this is carpet here. Oh my God. Don't want
Spilling
that.
stuff,
No
yeah.
accidents.
Anything else you want to talk about, Josh, you've been working on?
I did release my written notes for my Recreator MK6 fun size. I'm very excited to get that out because that has pretty much been the last 6 months. So the next 2 weeks we'll be prepping for a video to get that officially done as a video to go along with the written notes. I've got a 4-hour beta video, Sunday chill video that some people like and some people don't. Just like they don't like a video, they would prefer written notes. So I've tried to get everybody's best bang for their buck. Working towards getting hopefully some kits made up, though I gotta see where the majority of people want to purchase a kit and if I can actually move forward with doing that. So I'm probably going to do some small kit runs if I can, hopefully before Earth, but it's looking more likely after Earth at this point. So
Okay.
yeah.
When is Earth?
Earth is actually the last day of September and the first day of October.
Okay.
So normally it was a week into October, but I think Chris's wife, that's her birthday.
Yep.
So as we all know, happy wife, happy life. So
Yeah.
I think it just got pushed so that everybody's schedules don't conflict with that. So
Okay.
And for those
Very
that didn't see on Twitter and Facebook, we announced the dates for Rocky Mountain Rep Fest yesterday, Thursday.
I think I'm going to take a break next year from going to Earth. It's been a lot of I feel like I never stopped working towards going to the next rep after, and just for a whole year or two in between. I can't imagine doing multiple ones. I don't know how other people.
2 last year. I'm gonna probably do 3 this year. I enjoy it though. I love it.
I'm a hermit. I don't like to go out. I mean, it was very fun. I met a lot of people, but normally if I can be under a rock, I'm just content.
Rocky Mountain Rep will be 36,000 square feet. Will be the largest by size and most likely the largest by people.
I mean, it's really going to determine on your area. You guys are over on the coast. There's a lot more people, a lot more activity. People, strive for that stuff over there, I think. And it's not like your weather is horrible. You don't have to deal with snow
on Friday night this year, but
there's only room for so many. There's 3 now in the country, and you can't have too many more because everybody has to show up at more. And the people would come, but having exhibitors there and stuff like that would be hard.
It's a lot of work.
I've talked to quite a few companies, and a lot of them like any more than 3, we can't do it.
Well, Jerry, back in the day when Comdex was still around, there was a couple of them through the year, different locations.
Well, they're all ran independent of each other as well. We kind of play off each other, but I get a lot of people on socials. Well, they think we're all one group. She says we should do one over there and over there. It's like we're doing it in the easiest location.
The one here, we got a huge convention center.
Yeah.
Too expensive though in Vegas.
Yeah. I know of one that may happen in California. Problem is, any venue in any kind of popular area is going to be ridiculously expensive.
Yeah,
We
Kenny, if
go
you
to
don't know,
Denver.
No one
Justin,
factors that in, though,
Justin
that
and his
you're actually
partner organized the Rocky Mountain Rep. If it wasn't for Justin, his partner, there wouldn't have been a Rocky Mountain Rep. He's one of the
Right.
organizers.
you guys got a lot to curate, and people don't consider that when people are like they and this and that, like as far as an entity doing something, the average consumer, they don't care. They don't even consider who's in the background. They just want what they want to consume, and that's what they're there for. And so they don't think like, each one of these vendors, they're dropping anywhere from $500 to possibly $5,000 just to go to these conventions.
A
and
lot,
then they gotta
because
travel.
you get someone like Fabrico who was a platinum, and then he's bringing in 5 or 6 people, including one guy from Deutschland or somewhere over there.
Germany.
And so now they're doing their
Dutch
own
dude.
over in their areas. So and they have to travel in their areas too, but
Ship
they're
stuff
not going to
in.
come overseas if they don't have to. So now a lot of those companies that were like, "Yay, we're going to see them," they're not going to come over here.
The only
And
one
that's
is
the hard
Prusa.
thing.
Prusa makes all the Murph, Earth.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. They go to all of them.
Yeah, they go to even in Europe.
Well, it's easier in Europe when they have that.
Well, yeah.
When they have Smurf in December, it's
But
gonna
that
be.
thing too is like,
so
are you
easy.
going to be an industry leader? You're going to see the industry leaders at every one of these shows because they're the ones driving them.
Ever since Prusa bought Printed Solid, I don't see Dave in live streams and film that be giving away left and right. He's like that all disappeared.
He got bought out.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
I mean, he got
now we
acquired.
have Nick with Polymaker everywhere all the time, and they do have great filament. But before that, everything was seeing Dave with Printed Solid everywhere and giveaways and stuff like that. But then
we get used to what we get used to, unfortunately. And, I think some people end up growing away from their audience that grew them. It's not a bad thing. We all need to grow. And then that also helps grow the industry on its own. But it's rough to stay in the same spot, isn't it? Otherwise, you kind of feel stagnant. So if you get bought out too, that's kind of rough, because that's like a whole brand that one or a multiple people built, and just have somebody come in and buy that, it's not going to have the same heart and soul.
Right. At least he comes to the Rep festivals with Prusa.
Yeah. Well, he phoned it in for Rocky Mountain. He didn't show up at Murph. They had other things. He basically brought a pallet of filament to Rocky Mountain and had people drop off a print for a spool. Because what's he gonna do? Show off Prusas that are right across the aisle from him? Like, what's the benefit there? And he, it's not like he can bring an Ultimaker or anything. So, for him, it's just like, what do I kind of do?
Well, it becomes brand wars after a while, especially who wants what, and I don't know. I personally, I have people who are making their own pultruders, and I'm just like, I don't want to fight. We're all here together. We're all doing the same thing, and for 3D printing, that's 3D printing our objects. And at the end of the day, a printer is a printer is a printer is a printer. One goes faster, one goes cheaper. Everybody's still printing.
I've seen a lot of people in the hobby come and go since I've been in it. They're hot and heavy and everywhere, and then they just kind of fade off and they move on with their life. You don't see them anymore.
It can be discouraging, and some of us can get that one printer that makes us go, "What the am I doing? Like, this is insanity."
And like I said last week, Tinlog did that to me.
Yeah. When that happens, take a break, turn it off, go do something else, come back in a couple days.
I for the last year, I run depressed, so I fell off the wagon, and I'm trying to get back on where I'm finding other activities to not consume alcohol, because one of the majority of the things that bring me to it is just 3D printing. It's like, oh, that broke again, or spaghetti. And so like Sam was talking about, to actually have a service that, especially if you're curating somebody else's project too, where, and Justin just mentioned, like, you get to that 10%, you're like, oh my God, we're almost there. And then your electricity goes out. You're like, what? I haven't had an electricity go out in 3 years.
10 years, yeah.
To be a mobile
Drive
tech
me
for
nuts.
3D printers, that would probably be the worst job in the world because there's so many different things that can go wrong, and you may not have the parts on your truck, and you'd be bald and gray like I am. So, yeah,
That's
If I'm
why I got
making money,
mine on UPSs.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. But if I'm making money with a customer, back up.
So when I first got into 3D printing just 7 years ago, one of the first things that after I modeled, because what are you going to do if you don't have a 3D printer? You're going to at least model. I think it was Shapeways or something, wherever they do like ceramic and metal printing that you can outsource to. But it was like, I don't know, ridiculous. It was like $700 for something that I wanted printing at the time. And to think that that's now just like how we've got RAM and hard drive space that has gone from like 2 gigabytes on a USB drive, a thumb drive, up to 2 terabytes. And that went from $200 to $20. We're going to have that shipped in 3D, and that's just mind-blowing.
I mean, this is kind of like on the same subject of those vendors online where if you created a circuit, like a little small circuit, you can send that off and a company will, stamp those out for you, produce them.
Oh, that's everybody's sponsored by PCB Way.
Yeah.
Every video I see lately is PCB Way. I'm sponsored by PCB Way. It's like we get it. PCB Way is buying the industry.
They contacted me about 6 months ago, and I asked them a few questions about doing this and doing that. And I don't know. I guess they didn't like my questions. They instantly backed away from me, so they didn't become a sponsor.
I mean, it's like anything else. Like, what are you bringing to them? Are you going to be a selling point for them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're all in the industry, and everybody's trying to make money how they make money. And one thing I don't like seeing that industry leaders are still doing. Bamboo just released somebody's model. They didn't give them any credit, but they used it as a photo example to sell their filament. And so it's just like, if you can't even give a model maker a stack of filament for the use of their model with credit, I think that's just it's just poor. It's poor. It's horrible, especially if you are trying to drive the industry. You should be literally either giving out printers or free filament and working with model makers to use their product visually. It's just everybody does it, and it's just silly that we haven't gotten companies that really see like, oh, I'll just pay this model maker or just give them some filament and then have my brand name with their name attached to it.
Yeah.
There are no arguments afterwards.
Speaking of giving away stuff, when Bamboo first came out, I mean, how many YouTubers, when Bamboo first came out, how many YouTubers were reviewing it? How many do you think they gave away?
That's the thing, is they just spent all that R&D in 3 years.
35, I believe.
Had at least 100.
35?
I think so.
I think they had one main person that they knew, and then he said, okay, I think he should, this person should review. Then they picked very carefully who they picked on different channels. So
I mean, so
yeah, but some reviewers
given off of whatever they run. So if they've got 10, let's just say they did 1,000, they're probably only going to give 10 to 20 people review units because that's what they've put out amongst that order. They skimmed it off the top and said, all right, this is what we can put out.
Well, I know at least 2 reviewers that did not want to review them only because they were on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I mean, thing, dude, like Kickstarter's
a gamble.
Like, it's a total gamble. I lost my
that was my one and only.
Yeah,
I was nervous, but I got it.
Yeah.
I almost didn't get it. I was one of the original backers, and I almost didn't, but they were getting such rave reviews and everything.
Exactly.
And I said, you know what?
I did my research.
I'm going for it.
I mean, they did anything correctly. It was they followed through, and when there was issues, they followed through.
Yep.
And so that's huge. But then you've got the other aspect again where they're kind of trying to close up shop on everything, and they don't want to open. And like you had Sam talking about the Creality kind of being a little more open, and what's going to end up driving the industry? What's going to push it forward? Open source is always going to push it forward because it's always going to allow it to muster and grow beyond what it was intended.
My 2 rolls of carbon fiber that I have put on the coupon code on July 4th, I got an email yesterday. They'll be here next Wednesday. And at the time that I chose it, they only had black and black. They didn't have, I think, red and green. But when I got the confirmation email, the picture showed, I think it was red and green. So that'd be cool if I actually got what I originally wanted. They're out of stock. So that'll be here next Wednesday.
I'm still waiting for my 4th spool for the Kickstarter, which I mean, I got 3 of them. Either way, I'm happy.
I did get all of mine.
You got all 4?
Yep. I got all 4.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my 4th one.
Yeah,
Did they put a note in? One's on the way, or the?
Yeah, because I put in a support.
It was the one mixed with PC. Let's see, was the last one to come.
All right. Speaking of bamboo, you know, I don't mean to keep harping on them or whatever.
Why do I keep getting kicked out of Chrome? It said, "Oh snap!" and my screen died. That's happened twice.
RAM, too much RAM usage.
Get rid of that Commodore 64.
You got too many tabs.
Anyways, so was anybody early in on the Bamboo Facebook group?
I was.
Yeah, I check in every once in a while.
What about some of the main guys that thought they knew it all?
It was a very toxic and vile place.
Yeah.
It literally made me go.
It's gotten better.
Okay, I don't want anything to do with this community.
I'll just give one little hint who I'm talking about. Sir. That's just part of his name he goes by. Sir. He thinks he's Mr. Bamboo or something. And it just
Sir Will.
I try to run groups very. Groups need to be run a certain way, and anybody who's joining a group. Anybody who's joining a group, they don't want to be like bombarded by jerks and stuff.
We normally have a man called Liam in here, Astro Printer, and Liam's a very smart person, but I used to call him Mr. Know-It-All, joking around with him.
I know.
But yeah,
it's good to be a smart guy in the room, and it's also I'm a fool in the room. I usually like to find the smart guy in the room because you don't know what the smart guy doesn't know that the fool knows. So it's good to collaborate sometimes.
Yeah, 2 eyes are better than 1 eye.
Yeah,
but we all know who's going to be a know-it-all in the room. They're the ones saying, "Hey, I know it all." It's like we get it.
And the doctor even knew what I thought of Will, because I sent the doctor an email.
But there was quite a few people on the Bamboo group that basically was screwing up. It was their mistakes. You could tell by the questions that we're asking.
No one's ever going to admit that, though.
No.
They're just going to blame it. Oh, this piece of crap.
Let me ask a question before I open my mouth and get myself in trouble. If you sign something for a certain manufacturer, after a while, if you haven't had anything to do with it, can you say anything and not be in trouble?
What do you mean?
No, it's permanent. I mean,
like,
it was part of your job.
I signed an agreement to be like, let's say, part of not really the official support, but like a oh, this is great. Look at this printer.
Spokesperson-ish?
Later.
I mean, unless you signed a contract with anybody, then nothing's official, and you know.
I haven't been part of it for like a year.
I mean.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I don't think it's any really a big deal. But early in, they did reach out to some of us, and I am referring to Bamboo, and some of us got our printer real early, and I'm talking about the Kickstarters. And like, I'm number 299, I believe. And they just basically had this extra group on Facebook. And we did do some beta testing, but other than getting our stuff shipped to us for free, that was all we saw out of it.
It was funny when I was ordering the thing, when I got on there, because I was waiting. As soon as the time came on, I got on, and it said I was number 14, right?
You were 14?
Wait a minute. And then as I was going through my credit card process, I don't know what happened. Something got screwed up and it was wrong, and I had to go and re-enter. Anyway, when I finally got it done, I was number 400 and something.
Yeah,
It's
I
like the Christmas
had a
people-
script too.
People
That's-
use bots of some sort, and you go on Walmart for sales, and there's X amount, and you go to put it in your cart and buy it that quick, and they're already gone because somebody has some kind of a program that just bought them all up somehow. Happens every year
Well,
at Christmas time.
I mean,
a long time ago, eBay. I mean, there used to be a program out there for like eBay sniping. You know, coming in at the last second to bid. You know, it was called eBay Sniper. So yeah, same thing.
I used to get nervous on eBay auctions years ago, and I'd randomly buy stuff. I
Oh,
try to
man,
get it
I'd
down
go-
in the last 20 seconds and put in a bid. I'm practically shaking because I'm so wound up trying to get that bid in at the
like
last
this.
second. Has anybody experienced that where you feel like you're almost shaking?
Oh yeah, I mean that's
God.
going to the casino, dude. You're in an auction right there. You want it. You're gonna get it.
Yeah. And you don't want to come in too high, and it's crazy.
Dude, that's the thing is this guy said he's got the Kenny's with the software. There's people that come in and they snipe that 1 second. You're like,
Yeah, I've done that. I've done it once in a while manually. It's a pain. You got to be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
And
tried
have
that a
fast
few
internet.
times and didn't get it. Your internet's got to be real good too, because if you're
Upload.
way behind, if you're lagging or something, and you could miss it.
Yeah, years ago,
Get
my
out
mom
your
was alive. The radio would have different contests, and she was really fast on that telephone, sitting there dialing that number to be the right caller in. So, and then before that, you kind of dial with the round dial, the zing.
The radio station thing. I have a friend who worked in radio. They told me it's not the caller number; it's who sounds the best on the radio.
Well, I mean, that's gonna kind of boil down to who gets review units sometimes too.
It's dirty, but it's here.
8675309.
Sam doesn't get free printers for nothing.
Nobody gets a free printer for nothing because you got to do content for companies and videos and follow-ups and helping people. Time is money. So you put out a lot of your time, so nothing is really for free. If anything else, they owe you money because when I do side work for people,
that's the thing, though, is like if you get your personality and brand down, that's as much of a selling point as anything else. If you're not articulated and able to get things out of your mouth, I don't know if anybody else watches Zach Freeman. He's really, really good at articulation, and so for people who are getting into it and
Zach with the spyglass thing,
yeah,
little computer, yeah.
yep. And
then
that's the thing. It's like, that sells.
Once you become a large company or a large channel on YouTube, then companies pay you plus give you their product to review things on top of all that. So when you're small, you're thankful to get anything donated to you to do content on, which, like I say, it's not really free because content time is money.
Sure, you're still doing work. I mean,
yeah.
No one gives something out for free. There's always going to be a stipulation behind it, like, hey, well, we're giving you a product. Hopefully, you'll do something with it, and that will bring us revenue.
Okay, so we got Rolling Stones magazine where we got the top, 100 singers, the top 100 guitar players. Who is like the top 10 on YouTube?
That take a while. That take a while to figure out. It depends what country you're talking about.
There should be. There's where we can make money. Come up with a publication.
People don't read magazines anymore. They do everything online.
So you guys imagine, like, my whole thing blows my mind. I've been into emulation forever, and for the most part, I feel like everybody's kind of doing their own bits of emulation to some degree. But right now, everything that we've known for the last 30 years has gone kind of emulated. It's gone from physical media into digital. and it's all been condensed into our phones and our computers, and we can't really do much without having connection to the internet and a phone these days. I just went to do an appointment the other day that had nothing ever to do with being online, and now they're like, well, if you're not online, you can't fill this out. What do you mean I can't fill that out? I can't go see the doctor if I don't have an internet subscription now? Like, that's crazy.
I was a recruiter by trade. Do you remember paper applications?
What's paper? No one even uses their paper printers anymore. They're getting HueForge and they're printing out all their artwork on their color.
That's the way to do it, though. HueForge is awesome. I've
been streaming for 3 hours and 10 minutes. We have 29 people currently watching. I think I'm going to raid on Twitch and end the stream on YouTube.
What is a rate? I mean,
when you're on Twitch, you raid into another channel, meaning all your viewers jump into the other channel. You see them on the video. You're in their chat. Instead of you clicking on that channel to go to, I make you go there if you're watching on Twitch. And then people on YouTube, I simply end the stream, and then they go on to the next video themselves.
So I'm not on Twitch.
Go for it.
Yeah, you're on Twitch and YouTube
All right,
at the same
with
time.
that, guys, I'm gonna go get some dinner. So I appreciate being here with all you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming. You're always welcome. I hope things get better no matter what's wrong. Things can always get better in your life. So, bear with it. You're always welcome. Thank you, everybody. We're rating right now on Twitch. Everybody have an awesome day. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody. And here we go on YouTube. Take care, guys. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday.
Matt, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Sergio, for the giveaway. I really appreciate it. Take care, everyone.